Hi, everybody. As Larry says, this could be the most valuable 3 hours of your life, but probably not. We're going to study some cash game hands face up. So what should happen? It should go fold, 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 raise, fold, 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 and queen deuce suited, luckily, should not defend. And here is our little handy dandy chart. This little Excel spreadsheet here, feel free to copy it, that just shows you the big blind versus each of the positions. And the most important two numbers are the offsuit and the suited corners. So in a range like this in Zoom, this is the cutoff. I'm sorry, he raised from the hijack. And so as you can see here in Poker Tracker, when the hijack raises and the big blind is facing it, the most important two numbers for you to know is that you're playing basically all the suited, all the offsuit jacks mostly, little ragged offsuit jack, and all the suited eights. Gives you that bulk of the range. And then if you want one other piece of information, you'd go, what are the corners? The corners are, I play the ace 10, and I play most of the king deuce there. That's what you want to see. And I play, a lot of the king, queen six, queen five. So the way I simplified that here is, let's go back there. There we go. So from the low jack, we're playing the offsuit queens, the suited eights, and it'd be good to know that it's about ace 10 and king 4. Luckily, I don't have to raise. Let's see what actually happens. The jack 10 raises. This is too early, and he's going to get punished for it. There he gets punished for it. I'm, of course, going to fold, and the jack 10 should just fold, and that should be the end of the hand, but he calls. So not only does he play too wide here, and he's also got he's got no big blinds.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question here. So he's
Yeah.
got 15 big blinds.
Yeah.
So I think three betting here is fine, but I wonder if this hand, along with aces, is so good against this that and you're early enough that you just want to flat
Maybe.
because this guy doesn't really matter. You really want to bring in somebody else with 100 big blinds where you have 80%.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually you don't want to go multi-way, but
Yeah,
I mean, you don't want to go multi-way with kings and aces. And so you would definitely want a three bet. But given that he's irrelevant in
yeah,
when you go three way, you can just ignore him and let him come along or do whatever he does. That would not be a bad adjustment.
yeah. I think he's yeah.
Yeah.
I think you really want to play with your kings or aces against a full stack.
Yeah,
I think
somebody's full
with
stack.
80% equity.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that's a good adjustment there. All right. So he does that, and then unfortunately he flops something.
I
So
would check here
he's going to
if
be
I
all,
was 39.
he just jams going, I hope you, his theory makes sense. They do this, which is I'll see the flop, I will jam and hope the other guy misses it and maybe folds, an
Yeah,
ace queen here like that. But not going to happen. Does he get there? No. All right. Next hand, Larry, you're up.
sure. Um, so by the way, I'm the nasally guy, as someone mentioned in chat. I was looking at your chat comments. Great to be back. So
I'm the fast talker. You're the nasally guy, and Artur, you can be the Latin lover.
yeah, exactly. Um, this is too early for King Jack.
Yep.
So King Jack off. King Jack suited would be fine.
Yeah.
This should fold around 7-5. It's too early. Fold around to Ace Queen. I don't think 10-9 off fans. I think this is really a raise and take for Ace Queen.
It should be. And just to look at it, it's going to be again. It should be against the cutoff. Actually, let's see how they play it before it gets to the. Let's see what happens before it gets to the 10-9. Okay, good. And the King Jack comes in early with his giant stack. Now facing that, what should the Ace Queen do?
Okay, yeah, this is a very interesting spot for Ace Queen. Um, okay, so I think in charts, this mixes three bets. Well, let me see. Cutoff, hijack, low jack, G plus one. I think this is mostly a three bet.
This is mostly a fold.
Oops.
Or is that right? Let me get it. This is, yeah, against the pre. No, I'm wrong. It's against the against under the gun and under the gun one, uh, it's mostly a fold. I think it's still mostly yeah, I think it's not, I think it isn't until the low jack that it's
Let me
mostly,
pull up the numbers charts.
it's
on
never
that.
a call. Right. Okay, let's look at it real quick. Just remember that. That's this guy and the cutoff. So here's our raise, cutoff ace queen. Yeah, still mostly a fold. Gets in there, quarter of
Okay.
the time. It becomes prominent. Oh wait, I'm one too early. No, it's mostly a raise against this guy. You're right. There we go.
Yeah,
Cut
we're
off.
on the line. We're cuspy AF, as the kids
Yep.
say.
That's where it is. Yep. Yep.
Maybe the
I
kids.
was one too early. Okay. Yeah, that comes in. So mostly a 3-bet. And he does, good for him. And now easy folds. From everybody. All right. Artur, you're up.
Is queen raise? Oh.
Oh,
yeah,
wait,
it's-
Owen James, how do we go in that direction? Oh, we go this way. Wait, somehow I got it. There. Now we have a new hand.
Pocket fours raise. Then. Oh, nines raise.
What about this
Think
queen
this
jack?
is raise.
What about this
What?
queen jack?
I think it's a fold, no?
Queen
I
jack.
think
Maybe
I think it's
a-
good enough to open. I think
Three,
suitedness
four,
gives
five,
it.
6. Yeah, queen jack, it's a low frequency raise. It's mostly a call.
What do you mean call?
I mean, it's mostly a fold. I said the wrong word.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So nines raise, fours call, I guess. I don't know.
It's a good idea on the button. There, now let's see if the queen jack goes for it. If it were me, I would raise this queen jack here because of getting that frequency. This combo is enough to do it. Let's see what he does. He does it. He does it. That is a GTO size if you want
We should
Against
watch this
this.
guy. Yeah, he's using the right sizing for this.
Yeah.
roll.
for that
Call.
call. Yep. And the GTO wizard thing has no calls in the cutoff or in up until the button. So this is a 3-better fold in GTO wizard, but other tools have this as as mixing calls. And the way to decide is if the people behind you don't 3-bet enough, which our low stakes population doesn't, perfectly fine to call this. And if they do 3-bet enough, then you want to turn this into a 3-better fold, definitely. I'm playing the 3-better fold strategy right now. So I would, the nines here is mostly a fold against this early raise.
Especially with your broken stack.
Yeah. But the other thing is also the smaller this raise, the more the more good a call is.
Yeah.
So he calls after this. So now, given that call, what do you want? What do you want to do with fours, Arthur?
I was about to ask you. I don't know. Maybe
I would call
call.
this I'd call this 100%. GTO still has calls as the third person in. The fourth person in has no calls. It's raise or fold, even against raise, call.
I mostly would call here. You've
Yeah,
got
but this seems like a great call.
your odds. You got 13% to essentially hit the nuts.
Would you call fours in a small blind?
I'd consider folding it because you're going to under-realize the equity of it.
My
I'd
argument would be
see
that
if big blind
you
squeezes.
still get to call this in the small blind,
Yeah,
because if you do hit, that hand has so much equity that
yeah,
you're gonna
you
be able
can.
to check raise.
Yeah, and again, it's even smaller size, which leads you to makes the call easier.
I could
But
be
he
wrong.
folds it. That seems unnecessarily tight. Okay, and just to look at our one tool that has calls there, we'll look at the poker coaching multi-way tool. And you'll see that was, let's see, the initial queen jack is under the gun. This is 8-handed, so close enough. These are 3 big blind raises, but there's the raise. We get there and he is the hijack. Facing this. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Do it.
Come back here. Come on.
Got faith in you.
I know. Poker coaching. Cash game multi-way. That's what we want to see. 100 big blinds deep. Under the gun. raises. Then we get a fold from the low jack. We're looking at the hijack here. Is it broken today? Let's see if I have to do
Seems
it.
be failing.
Let's see if I have to do it both ways. I never did that before. Cash game multi-way, 100 big blind stack. In a minute, we are going to be done with this. There's the raise. Now, if he folds, yep, it's making me do it that way. Nope, it's just broken. All right,
Oh, well.
poker coaching is broken today.
Could try it in another browser, but that's the only thing I can think of.
I could do that. I'll do that afterwards. And then if not, I'll send them a note. Okay, so here they go.
That's tough actually. Uh, he doesn't flat aces, right? Ace X. So I guess we start with a bet if he's like
Yep.
prepared.
Yeah,
I'd like
I'm sure that, oh, sorry, Larry, go on.
I think this is a good check raise spot.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like I have a mix and entities with deep.
Yeah.
But like here, it's like discounted ace X range.
I mean, you're drawing to second nuts. This guy doesn't have is stripped of ace king and ace queen, definitely. Not
Yeah.
definitely, most players. And yeah, you're drawing to the second. So I like a check raise here.
Right.
You've got dominated ace X.
Yep. And what we do know is this, that this guy is going to, that with his whole range, we think that he is going to mix checks and bets to start with. He may be doing some check calling, he may be doing some check raising, I don't think he's check folding except to some ridiculous size. But but whenever you're out of position, you almost every situation, your initial thing out of position mixes checks and bets. And he goes for the bet, and the bet's small. And the nines without a spade. You're gonna release on the turn at least. Yeah, so he releases now.
You guys
Right.
curious if we check raise this board? Or should we
Do you
move
wanna
on?
see it? Yeah, you wanna throw it in? Yeah, throw it in.
Why don't you go
Okay.
ahead and I'll throw it in.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
Wow, that's cool.
and I'll do the next hand. Should
He
go
was
fold,
in
fold.
UTG
Right.
full ring, right?
Yeah, it's full ring, UTG and hijack are the positions.
I'm gonna have to make it.
Which you're gonna put, you have to put the hijack in the button.
I could be wrong about, well, I could,
Yeah, I did.
I don't know
on
if
the
solver
bottom.
likes it.
I already did put him on the bottom.
Yeah,
Versus
that's
bottom
where
is range bet.
Yeah, that's where we have to do it. All right, so here we go. So to this hand, fold, fold, fold. Queen nine suited can raise right here. The 9-9 can 3-bet him. And in GTO Wizard, there's no calls here. But if you decided you wanted a calling range, provided these guys don't have decent 3-bet frequency, that's fine. We'll see what he does. I expect he's going to call. I expect it's going to go raise call. Then to the ace queen. In both cases, the ace queen would be a good 3-bet. Here, folds around, and the queen nine suited should fold to that. But that's not what's going to happen. Let's see what does happen. The queen nine folds. That's too tight. There, just as a reminder,
Is it?
he's in the low jack. Yeah, queen nine suited in the low jack.
It's like borderline.
Pure, absolutely pure.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. So too tight, that's fine. He's also got a broken stack. And as at 65 big blinds, it's probably still a raise, but it does go down in value. And it's not as good a raise, but there you go. Now the nines should absolutely raise, and the ace queen should 3-bet him most of the time with some calls. There's the raise, there's the 3-bet. The 3-bet is unnecessarily large, but that's fine. GTO Wizard makes this 7.5 big blinds. How wrong can you
Does
be?
it?
Yeah. Yep. GTO Wizard, cutoff
Versus
raise,
cutoff?
button,
Yeah.
7.5, right across it.
They're a little deeper, but I don't think that matters on
No, it does not.
three bets.
150?
I don't think.
I don't have the 150 size. If you do, because you have the super premium, if you want to look at it.
I think it's the same. I think four bets get bigger, but not three bets.
And there's your little bit of calling, mostly raising. There. But he does that. That's fine. The nines should not fold to that under any circumstances. This is a call. I
Especially
say
if it's
this,
stacked up.
I say this, let's confirm it. I think
Yes.
nines is the pure call. Yeah, there's never a fold. There's a three bet contingent. Right, here we go. And
What a what a flop.
what a flop. This is a nice thing. They do, even though the nines have a straight draw, they shouldn't proceed at all. This should just go check, bet, fold. Check, bet, fold.
So
Yeah.
he's playing pretty face up here. Well, maybe he wants to because I think that this is actually, in theory, a good bet.
Yeah.
Because you're unblocking all his continues. You're
Yep.
unblocking his king ten suited, his jack, his king queen. So in theory, well, you are.
Yeah, this
In
hits,
theory, you're just unblocking all his pairs. So you're supposed to fast play these.
Yeah.
Often. Do you want to take a look at that?
yeah,
Solve?
let's take a look.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I want to.
I'm dead
First
wrong,
one.
by the way.
I think he needs to size down on the flop.
So on this, he just needs to bets pure.
Okay, so I was
Just
completely
not
wrong
have check
also.
raises. Even
There are no
down,
checks. Yeah, I was totally wrong.
yeah, I thought we'd have check raises, but that's just crazy. It's just, I would imagine we just have a massive range advantage here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very outsized range advantage. So
Mm.
that must be, we must have yeah. So if you look at trips here as a
Mhm.
percentage of our range,
Yeah,
we're just dominant.
yeah. We have the best trips, but we also are much more dense in our trips.
Yeah,
3 times as many. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
got an amazing, not advantage and an amazing range advantage. So
Yeah,
it's
wow.
pure bet, which is a
62.
very rare thing out of position.
Yeah. This is really worth knowing because I could not have been more wrong.
Also, can you show King Jack 10? That three bet pot that
This
now
one,
it's live like King Jack
Which
10,
one?
like button versus cutoff, nines versus ace queen.
yeah, this hand. Oh, wait, I
Uh,
said this hand and I didn't share. Yeah, we'll take a look at this one.
Sure.
It's
we-
like, I don't know, if it's shallow stacker, like if SPR is smaller, like 100 BB, I think he's supposed to bet small, but I'm not sure.
Well, so, there's locked up equity. So that
Yeah,
tends,
yeah, I disproved
small
this.
bet.
I told
I'm with
Louis.
you. Yeah.
I told Louis already that it's not always the case. It's more about in position and out of position. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's see now because if it works here, like also smaller bet and then puller on the turn,
Yeah.
then it's totally wrong.
No,
On Jack that deuce in 4-bet pot we bet big. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like so weird.
Yeah.
Let's just.
okay. Do you have it up, Larry? Or do you want to do another hand while you get it ready?
you guys go ahead. I set
Okay,
it up.
I'll do a hand. Oh, wait, Arthur, you do the next hand. Who did this one? Whoever did this one. There we go. Yep, this is one's yours.
Queen 8 is a fold.
Yep.
Queen 10 is either walk or I mean either limp or raise.
Yeah, if you have a limping strategy, it mixes it. I don't have a limping strategy and that's a raise. And the ace nine defends. And the ace nine defends against the small blind. Most by raising, ace nine raises by, defends by calling, 100% call there is my belief. All right, let's see what happens. Queen 10 limps. And against the limp, this is where this lovely chart comes in.
It's not clear to be honest. And MTTs
Yeah.
you can check this.
It's in the simplified version of it, ace nine is a pure call against a limp. In the three
Pure
sides, it's
check?
ace
Pure
nine.
check?
Yeah, it's the check. That's what this is. This is a big blind response to small blind limp.
Yeah,
From
you
Yo
said
Wizard.
pure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if you only want to do raises and calls, you don't want to do anything more complicated, ace nine turns into your protected ace range. So you do the best aces and the worst aces. If you want to do slightly more complicated, ace nine mixes 50%,
Okay.
as do all these. There's no pures in this lower region when you get to the 50. So he can do whatever he wants, and what he wants to do is raise. Go.
Yeah, call, queen ten,
Yep, he does.
check. Oh, there is leading, but I think in cash games there is no leading on this board.
Yeah.
Right?
I wouldn't lead. Yep.
Check.
And I would never lead this hand. This hand is marginally made, and there's only 3 cards it doesn't really want to see. I mean, 2 cards. It doesn't want to see a jack, and it doesn't want to see an ace. Other than that, it's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Board.
Queen ten call.
Yep, he's betting range. Queen 10 calls.
Does he bet range? Like, it's so different than entities, like.
There's no reason. Yeah. My opinion is there's every reason to just, you're marginally made before, you're marginally made now. Just check call, check call.
No,
and then-
no, ace nine, is it range bet for ace nine? You're saying it's three.
Oh, here? It's in range bet for him, for this guy. Now, I don't mean correctly.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's what this guy is going to do. Is this a
Oh.
range bet? I have no idea.
I'll see.
No, I know. I can't imagine it. It's a pure range bet.
Okay,
And
okay.
this
King
combo
is really good for the 3-better.
No, in MTTs it's inverted, 100 big blinds deep. It's so good for small blind that he builds a leading range.
On this
Uh,
board? In a 3-bet
Yeah,
pot?
on king high board. Can you
In an
imagine?
ISO pot?
This isn't, yeah, this is a limp raise.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. But here,
yeah.
let's take a look. Let's take a look at the previous one.
Alright.
This is
Oh,
our three,
sure.
this is our ace queen 3-bet against the 9-9.
Alright, so we got cutoff raise, button, 3-bet, ace queen. Off. Yeah, Marley has some pots here.
Yep.
Cutoff is gonna have a very robust 4-betting range in this configuration.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't have. This is always gonna be a much stronger range. Of 4-bets versus population.
Yeah.
So let's just look. I think this is really good for imposition. It is. It's like a slim dunk position.
Oh.
Heavy range advantage, heavy nut advantage.
So we expect to see a range bet with that level.
We do.
Yeah.
We don't.
Nope, we don't see a range bet. We see most hands in the range able to bet.
Yeah, we see like across the entire range betting, right?
Yep, and it's a small bet. There's no large bet here.
Yeah.
So you were totally right, Arthur.
Um,
I don't know, it's like competing logics here. There is also logic that he doesn't have like tens plus, and we bet small anyway.
But he
so
has-
Unlock.
the 3-bet caller doesn't have 10s plus.
Yeah, let's say cutoff doesn't have tens plus, and so usually you will bet big because he has to like find some calls. But here he wouldn't bet. I don't know. It's hard to explain for me.
No worries. Yeah. we know
yeah,
this is your second language. What's your first language, by the way, Arturo?
Lithuania, European language.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware. Cool. So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Now, the thing I was also curious about, well, if we're gonna check at this high frequency, we're gonna protect our range, so we're gonna checks with our straights, right? So our straights are checking. They're not straights checking at some frequency. Yeah, the 18 is 29 is also something we have at very low frequency, but I would check this. See, I'm not. My theory was that we bet a lot with this straight because we're unblocking all its continues. But this board, for a reason I don't quite understand, really wants us to small bet, even though we've got this massive range advantage. One thing that comes to mind, and I'm curious what you guys think, is that this is a factor of SPR being so different, right? Our SPR is what, like 3,
Yeah, we
like
don't,
6?
yeah,
Oh.
we don't have to bet big to be able to get in by the
Yeah,
river.
we don't have as much urgency to
Yeah.
bet big in order to get spots.
Right.
And so I wonder if that's why.
Right. Do you want to look at how this changes? Because it was, they really are 150 big blinds deep, if I remember.
Sure. Change it.
Yeah, since we have. This will also tell us if it changes the 3-bet size. Oh,
So
well,
if we change it to 150, what happens? We only have this live 10% rate.
Yep.
What if we do 200?
and it also, and it gives him it gives him, in the opening raise size, it gives him a 3, not a 2.5.
Yeah, because we're using 9 max, we don't have post flop there.
Right. Okay,
Let me go to 6 max real quick.
Yeah.
Because now you have me curious. Okay, 6 max. Cash. And that 150, general, NL50. TO.
yeah, because we don't have we don't have a 2.5 option there, right? Oh, but in this one, it is 2.5. So when he does
It's
this,
only a 2.5 at 150.
good. And now we'll see how that changes the button.
Okay,
The
well,
button,
yeah, and
the
also we
button
do
goes a
raise a
little
little
bit
bit
bigger.
bigger.
Not, but
I'll
not,
try
not
that.
up to 9.
And then what happens to our nines now? So our nines are calling. So I
Yeah.
think we're getting probably more calls down here because we have better implied odds to hit
Yeah.
sets.
Yep. And we have fewer and the 9s have fewer raises also. The 9s were pure in defend. They never folded, but they raised.
Jack of clubs, 10 of hearts, king of spades.
Yeah.
Jack of clubs,
Hmm.
10 of hearts, king of spades. Okay, now how does this change? Well, we're gonna, well, we're just ignore donks.
Yep.
Let's see if our sizing changes. Not really. Not really.
We get, yeah, now we have a little bit of it, but it's still, we didn't have the 2% of it, but still super prominent.
Yeah.
It's just a bet small. Okay.
And this is, yeah, we're just, I don't know, I can't really explain why we just are betting small here. I'm open to theories, but
My theory is because we're betting so much of our range. It's not a range bet, but every hand in the range is betting.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah, that
king
makes
9
sense.
and jack 9 don't love it. But they do it sometimes. And so when when you're betting virtually every hand in your range, which is not the same as a range bet, you tend to go smaller.
yeah, I think you're right. I
And,
mean,
and then the other thing is simply this, there's locked up equity. Locked up equity pushes it down. And ace,
we need a
queen,
locked up equity. Let's
Yeah.
just confirm that. Let's just, so we can see here, I mean, for instance, we are bidding across our entire range, right? It's almost like this kind of polar, like the very bottom's a little bit more, very
Yeah.
top's a little bit more. Let's change this to,
just make that an 8. Or a deuce, you can do it that way. Yep, it's the locked up equity portion.
but now we're betting, bigger.
Yep, and now it is a range bet.
Yeah, and that's very fun. But then I think that we always kind of, our theory is that that's supposed to be nice. Much better.
Yeah. And make the deuce an 8, because remember, the deuce is also irrelevant. Let's make the deuce an 8. Lowest card it can be that doesn't bring in a straight. Yep.
So,
Okay.
handing it back.
Um, So this hand's yours, Arthur.
Oh yeah, I checked. Okay,
Alright,
okay.
he did bet. Oh,
Yeah. Again. Check now.
Yep,
Check. Oh, now he. Oh, now it's hard. Yeah. Now we bet big. Because we have nuts basically. You lose
Okay.
to jacks maybe. I don't know. I
don't
think we
think we
bet
bet-
10 blinds. Maybe we even overbet, to be honest.
I would think the bet here would be small. Because we're betting for thin value.
What? It's
We're
not
trying to
thin
get-
value.
We want to get called by we want to get called by 9s. I don't think this is thick value. I think a king bets big. But- Yeah, we can take a look at it.
When ranges are very wide, it's always much harder.
Yeah. But he just tries to sucker him into a third bet.
No, it's
Can't
terrible.
be wrong. And with showdown value, he checks his ace nine and goes there. Let's take a look, Larry, let's take a look at the river size here.
We check down the river.
Yeah, this was a limp raise call pre-flop.
And C bet by but big blind.
Mhm.
What ISO size did he use?
To 4.
We'll make it 5.
Yeah.
Queen 10 off is not in there. Yeah, Queen 10 off, right?
Yeah,
Make it
queen 10.
3.
He's got a, here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna make it 3 because then Queen 10 off is in.
Yeah. Oh, because queen 10 off folds to the 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it checked down to the river?
No, it went check, bet, call. Bet small, check, bet, call, check, and now he's on the river facing when the king comes in. We're
Oh,
gonna,
let's
also, is it a range bet for him?
yeah, we're
Let's
gonna
just
take a
take it
look
from
at
the
both.
flop.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to follow that along. Okay, you want, share,
Yep, you got it.
here we go. Okay, so. Small blind. Limp, ISO to 3, here's our range. Here's our calling range.
Yep.
So we fold out like half our range to that ISO, but Queen
Yeah.
10 gets in just
And if
barely.
he ISOs 5, the queen 10 folds and with the queen jack calls.
We'll have to check that after. If I change it, it'll
Okay.
break the solid.
Yeah, don't change it now.
We get this flop. I think it's gonna, yeah, we're gonna check.
Check
The
range.
first question I had when I looked at this was like, and I think this is better for big blinds ISO. Range, but
Oh, I figured why I said it's a lead. It's because there is like this thing when you limp in a small blind in MTTs, big blind ISO offsuit hands, and big blind is actually calling suited hands. So it leads king high, like when it's board like king 10-5, but it's a flush draw when it starts leading 50% of range because small blind has all the flush draws and big blind has very limited.
Has a lot, right, big blind has a lot of offsuit hands.
well, yeah, I was wrong, because what's going on, I forgot about this. I mean, big blind in GTO land is gonna have a lot of trash that it ISOs with. to
Super
try to take
polar.
us down 3.
Right.
So,
Remember that super polar range.
so the thing to think about, I think here, you don't remember, when thinking about solver land, is that small blind's range is now been, to use one of Peter's favorite statements. Small blind's range is now throwing a lot of its combos into the trash bin.
Yeah.
Big blind has a lot of bluffs, right? So the filtered range here is small blind.
Yeah,
So they're gonna have the range advantage, big time.
Can you
This
change
guy's
5
got
to
all
flush
his,
draw
this
card?
guy's got all his bluffs. I'm sorry?
Yeah, keep analyzing.
Okay.
yeah, we'll at the end, we'll go back and do it again with a 5 big blind open.
No.
Oh.
Can you do
Okay.
a flush draw like 5 of hearts or of clubs?
Now we'll look at that in a second, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we still check out of position. And then he had
Ace 9 off.
ace 9 off.
Suits don't matter.
So this ace 9 is in this little weird island over here.
Yep.
But let's just look at that those combos.
Yeah, it has enough showdown. He misses it. It
You can
doesn't
see
have,
here, and then you can see here.
Yeah.
Where it's just like in between.
yeah,
And these like, probably have 52, 30, yeah, it goes pretty dramatically. 51, 50, 33.
but we do bet the eight, but we bet the ace 4, ace 3, ace deuce because of its gut shot,
Yeah, I think that's
because of its
gut shot
backdoor,
related.
backdoor wheel.
Yeah, you got some backdoor action, and you got your shittiest ace you really want to fold.
Right. Yeah, less showdown.
Generate folds.
Yep.
Yeah, let's show down.
And the ace 9, while the ace 9 has a backdoor Broadway, the backdoor wheel is much more valuable than the backdoor Broadway. And the ace 5 and ace 3 and ace 4 also have the backdoor Broadway. So that's
Yeah.
right. That's why I think we're there.
Yeah, back you have broadways and wheel
Yeah.
on both sides. Good
Yeah.
point. These are actually gutters.
Yeah.
Okay, what did someone do in game on flop?
It was, so the ace nine bet. So his actual hand is now gonna have to be ace four, which is fine. So the ace nine bet and he bets small,
Like two?
like exactly 2.5 is what he bet. So between 2.5 and, so between 2 and 3. 2.54.
So now with our queen ten, I imagine we just call, we don't have any check raising.
Yep.
Second pair.
That seemed easy.
And then we had a six of diamond.
Yep.
So this is a non-equity shifting card, so.
Right.
Not donkeying.
Right. And now I think his wheels should give up, but I'm wrong.
Yeah, this is like the Wild West, so all these down here are gonna.
Yeah.
Polarize. Notice the
Shit.
polarization size. Notice how Solver's really going for it.
Right. And is it going for the 75 or the 125? I mean, the 125 or the 175? I can't tell the
It's
color.
mixing between the two. It's 75. It's 125 and 175.
Right. So it's doing both that. Okay.
Let's go look here. I think we're gonna see. Yeah, it's like this very polarized range.
Yeah.
Well, not very polarized, but there's definitely is some polarized
Yeah.
action going on. So let's just look at like this ace three, for instance, right? Then go back to breakdown, see where this falls. It's down here
Mhm.
at like 16% equity,
Yeah.
like ace two. That's like that. So it's definitely going. It's obviously in our bluffing region, and it's betting big, betting for 175 and 125. Yeah, I mean, it gets crazy. Blind versus blind.
So he elects for the check, which does exist for the equivalent ace we gave him. Ace
Yeah,
four
let's.
checks half the
Yeah,
time.
I'm curious. Ace high. Yeah, it's roughly mixing between polarizing and betting more with the worst hands.
Yeah.
So he checks.
And mixing
Get the-
evenly between the two polar sizes.
We get the king of clubs, right?
Yep.
We got lots of leads. So what
All right. And
question
they're
I would
and they're
have is,
small. But
sorry,
most-
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and the tens are small. That was the thing that Arthur and I were disagreeing on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're mostly block betting.
Yeah.
This seems like a really, I mean, this combo, this hand class seems like a really good
Right.
block candidate.
Actually, yeah.
The difference
Notice
is
we're gonna have still even in our
and-
bluffing region down here. Like this is really clear what's going on here. Like this very clear region of block betting with the tens, right?
yeah,
And then whatever's going on here. Oh, these are even these are better 10x. So we want to check call here for some reason.
mhm,
Then we get to a different, this is trips begins to come in. And then we go back to our, and then the interesting thing is that here in our total trash, we're always betting our total trash here, right?
yeah. Even though it blocks it blocks the jack queen.
Yeah, yeah. And so,
But
and
we
then
also
we're
we
mixing
need to get jack
sizing,
fold, even though we block it.
we're mixing sizing that we're gonna use between, big bet, small bet.
And the
Um,
reason that we can afford, the reason that we can block bet tens and raise kings, even though that turns our hand face up, is way at the top. The monsters are also block bet size.
So king ten,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
our full house
your full house,
are protecting our blocker size.
right?
Yeah, our blocker sizing is protected.
Yep.
Pure, by the way.
Yeah.
And I guess, my guess would be pure because we're blocking any of these calls.
Right. And then go just below that. Let's see what the big traps
Traps
are.
off. Our lesser.
Lesser full
folks.
houses.
And then king, queen is betting big.
Yep.
And this is like sixes, lesser boat.
Wonderful is trapping. Unblocking him having a king when he occasionally slow plays his king.
Yes, I guess, yeah, that's the only theory I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, these, I
But-
mean, this is just an example of how super complex these blind versus blind
Yeah.
strategies get. Just a very tough spot to play in solver lane.
But you can see why. I mean, again, we're putting a narrative to a statistical conclusion, but it makes sense. Your king 10 blocks all his continues.
Yeah,
So use
I
that to
agree.
protect. The other ones
so-
unblock.
So these very best. Yeah, they block. Continue. This is like, well, this is interesting, right? Cause we're trapping here. The only conclusion I can come to. Well, we can look at it. Let's see. It's very hard to read this, but
I think we're trapping. I think we're trapping with our underfulls. I think our
so we
under-
are, and we can see why, right? So if we go here, see if I can pull it up. I want to look at fives. Okay. So this is our blocker number. So the higher the value remover number here, the more we're blocking his value.
Right.
The lower the number, the less we're blocking his value. It's a 1, which means we are totally unblocking his value in solver
Yeah.
land. Because of that, that's gonna drive a trap check.
And then go up and
When
see
we
how
have
big-
99% equity.
go to the king 10 and see how big the blocker number, because we block hard that at the top. Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
can
just do it here,
that
because
one.
it's easier to
Okay.
find.
okay.
Okay, so king 10, king 10, king 10 student. So this is the opposite, right? Value
Yeah.
removal is maximum,
Yeah.
because all that matters here is having a king in some ways.
Yep.
So because our value removal is now 10, we're motivated to put this into this weird semi-trap blocker region.
Yep.
Trying to drive calls from,
From really specious stuff.
yeah, like, I don't know, air checks or something. Or like a naked queen or something.
Ace high.
Naked 10. Yeah. So, I mean, these value numbers are interesting, I think.
Yeah.
The only thing that my only hesitation with it is that in solver, I mean, your strat is on the knife's edge, right?
Mhm.
It's on the knife's edge between, it's at equilibrium. And, I don't know how much that pertains to our NL50 games.
Mhm.
Like, I definitely think we should study this, because knowing the mechanics of this is important. But I just think we have to understand more, or we have to understand that in relation to how humans play, so let's put it.
Yeah.
Peter Clark talks about this quite a bit. I mean, Peter Clark, I don't know if I've probably given this speech before. Peter Clark gives the, sometimes will give the, kind of a quick narrative of his arc in poker. Where, he initially, when solvers came out, or, 2016, he wanted to play perfect solver land. He wanted to aspire to perfect equilibrium. However, 2 or 3 years in, he realized that's not profitable,
No.
because humans, and it's not profitable, especially in cash, because when you're playing below, below NL200, 60 to 70% of your profit is become from people's mistakes,
Right.
not from grinding out small edges against someone else's playing solver.
Yes.
So it's more important to understand how to exploit villain mistakes as opposed to playing at equilibrium.
Yeah.
Okay, end of
So with
speech.
this, with this, his queen 10, going for thin value, turning the hand face up, protected by the kings, I think is actually a very good strategy against population also.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's hard to do, it's hard to check the king 10 here. You feel like you're wasting it.
It is.
And you only have to check here's the adjustment for population. You only have to check your king 10 here against someone who is gonna see your thin value bet of 4 as something to pounce on. So you want to have seen him pounce. You want to see an aggressive number here.
Yeah, this is where it helps to play on a non-anonymous site. You have
Right.
a
right.
history of
And-
someone spazzing of attacking small bet.
Right. And looking at his HUD stat, you have no information. You're at 5 hands with him. There's
Yeah, you
no
don't know
info
anything.
here.
It's not useful.
The 3-bet of 25 is this hand or something, so yeah, there we go. Okay. So checks and hopes that he plays that he goes for it on the end. And there we go. All right. Next hand, this is you, Larry.
All right, villain 30, it should fold around to villain 37.
Mhm.
Should raise and take.
Raise and take. Yep. Now, what do we think might happen? I think that's what's going to happen. I don't see anything else sexy here.
No.
Yep. Okay. I think I'm next. Ace queen should raise and ace 10 is suited, should defend by 3-betting.
So this broken stack is gonna flag.
Okay. This ace 10 broken stack here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is probably, if you have a flatting range in the small blind, this hand is probably in it somewhat, but I bet it's not. I bet the majority of this ace 10 3-bets. We'll take a look.
Yeah, I
He-
think this is a 3-bet.
So there's
I
our
would
low
3-bet
jack
this.
raise. The fact that it went to 3, we're gonna look at the difference between 2.5 and 3, just for the heuristic. We're gonna fold more to the 3 than we do the 2.5, but ace 10 suited is too good. He does the call as you expected. There we go.
So one thing that Jeremiah Williams has mentioned before is that
Yeah.
when you've got a broken stack flatter in small blind, it makes almost sense to treat it like a big blind. Right?
Mhm. Cause that's
Maybe
what range he
wider.
really has.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so ace queen is interesting here. I mean,
We have the ace
I
of
always-
clubs.
yeah, with the ace of, I think I bet with the ace of clubs a
Yeah.
lot. Cause I think you can take a reasonable check raise.
Bet with the ace of clubs. Check without it. There's the bet. There's the fold. All right, let's do the easy thing here. This was the low jack with GTO wizard. So there's our low jack raise, the small blind raise with range, with calls. As you can see, ace 10 calls prominently, but it raises more. Now go to 3 big blinds instead. 6 max, pre-flop only. 3 big blind open. Low jack raises. And now the small blind with his ace 10. He doesn't care.
Well, you're playing a chippy.
Yeah, oh, that's our change?
Yeah, there's no rake here.
Okay, do I have a rake option? Yes, I do.
Oh,
Let's-
yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, let me get,
So you're going 3x, 100 big blinds,
yeah, I should have a rake option here. NL
and
50.
L50.
Thank you. There's the raise, now the small blind. Yeah, folds a lot more to the 3. This call's not a mistake. And again, the call is now significantly less prominent than the raise. Compared to 2.5.
What c-bet sizing are we using?
He does half pot.
Yep.
My
There-
gut is that, I mean, so not against solver small blind range, which is very different. It's super dense. But if this is big blind, I think this does like high check, low frequency bet, and if we do bet, we're gonna go bigger.
Versus big blind, we overbet, I think, but like versus, I mean, with range, but versus
Yeah,
small
yeah,
blind, I
we
think
might
we
have-
go to birds.
Yeah, so that's your question is, do you want to put your actual villain on a small blind range in the small blind or put him more like a big blind range?
Up to you.
Jeremiah
Up to-
Williams, and I agree
If
with,
If in a big blind, I think it's over spot, but in MTT's ranges are wider. Maybe in
Yeah,
cash
much
it's not
wider.
over bet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this as a low frequency, bigger bet.
No, it's like 50% of range is over betting on the flop.
Okay, yeah, I would be surprised to see 50% over bet on this. So let's take a look. Cause we have,
50% check, 50% over bet.
Over
And versus small blind, 50 bigs deep, I think we go like 5 blinds.
yeah. Larry,
And-
if you wanna put this in, we'll just do that. And if you have the option of a 50 big blind stack, take it as opposed to 100.
I don't think it's like a range bet versus small blind.
I don't think it's a range bet either. I don't think it's a range bet against the small blind or the big blind, but you
No,
think,
it's not a range bet. I
okay,
think it's,
I
I
think
think we
it's-
check.
I think it's got some big bets in it. Tell me when you,
Usually, ace high, like ace queen over bets and queen 10 checks.
gotcha.
And
We don't
split.
have, not, we don't have a 50 big blind.
Okay,
option.
then take it at, yeah, take it at 100. And my prediction, the hypothesis we're going for is Archer's prediction is over bets. And I think over betting is a minor part of the strategy, but I do think there's gonna be mixing of big bets and small bets and checks.
Small bets.
Yeah.
In EP.
I think there's gonna be some. I think there's gonna be some there.
So this
And
is gonna
we'll
be,
put it-
so I'm gonna put it in small blind,
Okay, we'll do that
because it
first.
does have flats with this combo.
Yep.
But, okay, let me show.
Okay, are you ready? Okay,
Small bet is okay if you're on a button or a cutoff, but
Yeah.
like if you're EP, like you don't bet small bet
Right.
option.
Yeah, these ranges get weird because if you
Yeah.
look at small blind's flatting range, it's 1% of combos.
yeah,
It's
Oh.
super, I guess the word is condensed.
Yeah,
It's
but
super
it's
condensed.
100 BB sim. That's not that useful.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, let's go. Nothing.
Alright, and so, well, he does have this combo that he flats.
Yep.
So. In that sense, it's valid. He's got. So. We see this a lot, this high frequency donk,
mm-hmm,
Mm.
in the small blind, and I think this is because. His condensed range has got,
he's so massively filtered.
yeah, it's already got a range advantage.
Yeah.
So anytime you see a range advantage, even though it doesn't have a nut advantage, he's gonna donk.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a lie. I think usually. Usually nut advantage drives these donks, at least in the big blind. Small
Yeah.
blind, I don't really understand very well. Check. Given I don't understand any of that really well. Check. Yeah, so, well, I understand this part. This is high check. And then when we do bet, it's low frequency big. We don't have small bets here.
Yeah, and look at the overbet. It exists, but it's really not prominent.
No, look versus big blind when ranges are wide.
Oh, the
Okay,
overbet.
versus big blind too. We'll do that. So there we go.
Versus
Yeah.
big blind, it's over, but versus small blind, I thought it's like 75.
Gotcha.
Why don't we,
Yeah, he's
instead
got
of,
no- And I was wrong. He has no small bets. He has some 50s, but no
What?
small.
since we have access, let's just look at the flop report here.
Yeah.
And cause we're curious about so let's sort this. So we're on low jack. Let's support this by B75.
Right.
So this is B75. And then we're going to flip this. I hope.
Otherwise, we'll get from the other end.
Yeah, I'm trying. So sometimes it'll work, allow you to flip this, but sometimes it just doesn't cooperate. I want to flip the arrow.
Right.
One arrow. Okay, forget it. I'll just go down here. So these are the boards where we have these big bets. So obviously it's going to be like these
Monotone.
weird
Wow.
monotone boards. Yeah, we didn't expect that, did we? I didn't expect that.
No.
And then, so we get these monotone boards and then, but in here, we also begin to get these 9 board. Let's do this a different way.
Okay,
Let's,
here's my prediction.
Mhm.
Which is this monotone board feature is gonna go away when we look at it versus big blind. This monotone is driven by the fact that small blind flats so few suited hands.
Okay. can see that.
That's what I think.
So now we're sorting by flops, but it's the wrong way. Let's see. There we go. Now it's gonna flip around. Okay. Now we're sorting by flops. And this is against small blind,
Yeah,
which is a weird situation. So what the, oh, I wanted to filter for highest card, 9 disconnected. And yeah, so when it's 9 disconnected, this is what we can expect.
right.
Mostly checking, but when we bet, we're taking this very dramatic sizing of B75. We can see it here in the global numbers. We're
Yeah.
just betting B75, 125.
But the massive B75s are all the paired boards. The unpaired, oh, these are all paired. You
No, I
filtered
think,
for paired.
I thought I filtered for, let me see, sorry, let me see.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, let's go unpaired. What? Any,
Any, I said any. Let me see. Nine,
Why
nine,
is
nine,
there-
nine, 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 nine. Maybe
why-
you have to, maybe you have to be maybe at this,
Oh, disconnected means
9?
no straight draw.
no straight draw, so it has to be paired.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
We're, let's
Right,
make it 10.
so turn off disconnected.
Let's make it 10 and see if we can do this.
Oh, okay,
Now we have not.
yeah,
10, 6. But it changes,
now
but we
look
still
at-
have mostly.
Yeah.
We get B50s, but we're mostly still big betting.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
what
click
do you
click
wanna
on
look
that
at?
10, as long as we're looking at this report.
Mhm.
Do the 10 and turn off, get rid of the pairs, just so we see those few that are unpaired.
Leave the 10?
Yeah, keep the report that you've got and just change in the filter. And go not paired.
Not
We're gonna
paired
get a couple of
specifically.
hands, yeah. Just real quick. I just wanted to see it. So the big bet goes away.
A lot,
get-
but still there.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Oh,
you lose the
over
70.
that goes away.
Yeah, the overbet goes away and you're pushing down towards the 50, and the paired board is where you're getting more of the 50 and a little bit of the overbet.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we're going over like such a broad range
Yeah, yeah.
now. It's
Yeah.
hard for me to now see heuristics, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so now let's take a look, let's put him in this, let's put him in the big blind.
Alright. So UTG, right?
Yep.
Big blind calls. Flop, big blind checks. Okay,
Not
we'll do-
UTG, what, yeah, UTG, are you six-handed? It's low jack,
Okay, low jack
Yeah.
raise.
low jack raise, yeah. You've got low jack 3 betting. Fold your UTG.
I'm gonna change it.
We
Well, let me
start.
see. So low jack raise.
Yeah.
Big blind flat.
Yeah.
Flop, check.
9-3 deuce, 2 clubs,
Yeah, we got a report here.
3 and deuce. Oh, we're doing the report first.
Okay, so, well, we're just gonna do that. Do we wanna look at the ag report or the hand?
Well, let's look at I mean, we can see in the ag report that there isn't, that the over betting is not prominent at all.
Yeah, but should we look at? Let's look at. Let's just look at this.
Yeah.
Parameters. So we don't really get over bets against in this situation. Let's look at one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of it. We're mixing.
We get big
Essentially
bets, but we
customers.
just, but over bets just are just rare on the flop here. Even against the big blind.
Yeah, we're mostly checking.
Right, now let's take a look at let's look at our board, 9-3 deuce.
Okay, so let's get out of reports.
If
So
not,
strategy-
flip it to 9-8 deuce for sure. But
And
let's
what,
see now.
nine of
9-3
diamonds,
deuce,
3 of
9-3 deuce
clubs.
and the 3 deuce are paired, are suited. That's our board.
Okay, so now let's just see if he has any donks. A little bit.
Yep.
Alright,
Mileage
so
may vary. Don't try this at home. Check. And yeah, so mostly checking, then we're mixing across all our.
Yeah.
make it 9-8 deuce, 9-8 deuce flush draw.
Okay,
Can we-
9-8 deuce flush draw.
Yeah, let's, yeah, like if you have time, I'll flip out. Okay. Yeah, so it's.
All right,
it's
I was
not-
right on, I was right about something. Yay. I like being right. So rare.
Hmm. Interesting.
Arthur and I are currently tied for our opinions today.
No, in MTTs, I swear, I even custom
Yeah.
solved 9-8
I
deuce.
believe you. I totally believe you. All right. There we go. Okay, this is this hand we just did. And, oh, there was one other thing we wanted to look at in that, Larry. On the 9-3 deuce. Does the ace, we thought the ace of clubs drove some betting in that strategy. And without the ace of clubs, there'd be less betting. Let's see if that's true.
Okay, I still have it up. So.
Yeah.
What,
That was another thing we wanted to see.
what do we want to look at specifically?
We want to see on the flop, it's check to us. And what do we do with our ace queen? And you and I both said that the ace of clubs will make the bet more common.
Okay, yeah.
And it
we can see
does.
that.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the ace of clubs is a very important card.
Ace of
Well,
clubs
I don't
is
know if it's very
important.
important. We definitely, well, we
Right.
go
And the
from
queen of
like
clubs is good.
checking 55 to. Yeah, I mean, it does add a little bit more betting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that.
It does prove our heuristic. It's not
Yeah.
dramatic, but it does prove our
Yeah.
heuristic.
And if you didn't know this difference, you'd be fine.
I'd agree, but I think, yeah, I think generally. So. Another shout out to a YouTuber. Um. Hungry Horse Poker.
Yeah.
If you watch his stuff,
Mhm.
he's like, does a lot of like. Live poker strat.
Yeah.
Stuff. And
He
he's
also
like,
makes really good videos, just in terms of video production.
yeah, he does have good production. Well,
Yeah.
he lives in Los Angeles, you're California, you could have
Yeah.
that stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, he just says just bet. Against big blind flatting range, just bet. Just
Yeah.
bet your entire range all the time. People
Yep.
don't check raise enough. And people overfold. They don't
Yep.
defend well enough. So just bet.
Yep. And the other thing that he does is he likes a half pot size on the flop as a default, that as opposed to looking for a small and a big. And his theory behind it, if I'm repeating him correctly, this is Hungry Horse Poker, is you want a bet size that causes them to fold their junk and raise their best hands. So that when you have your very best hands, you get money in. And when you've got your garbage, you get out fast.
Yeah.
You don't want a size where they call a lot of their best stuff and keep you in guessing.
Yeah, which is yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a different theory than we've heard in the past. I like
Yeah.
his theory, but I also like betting small on flop.
Mhm.
And then also polarizing on turn a lot.
And his turn bet size, and I believe it's also his river bet size, but his turn bet size is he asks a very different question. Are they capped?
Yes, yeah. I have to
And
go back and
so-
watch that video. That's a very good video he made.
Yeah. So his flop on many flops, maybe all flops, but certainly many flops, his default size on the flop is half pot, and then on the turn, he goes big and little. Are they capped? If they are capped, you bet big. If they are not capped, you bet small. When you bet.
I'll repeat that again. I'm
I
sorry.
believe it was, and we better check this before we start playing it. You asked the question, are they capped? Is their action
Yeah,
capped them?
Yeah, that's his
If they're
question.
capped, you can bet big on the turn. And by big, he means pot and bigger. And if they are uncapped by their response, then when you bet small.
Yeah.
And you don't worry about, let me think of the thing that we're not worrying about. And you don't worry about balance between your bluff size and your value size. You
Yeah.
let those be different because they won't pick up on it. And
So, oh, go ahead, Scotty.
yeah, and the way he said it was almost like you're going to choose the bluff size that makes them fold and the value size that makes them call on the river. And even though that's completely face up, it doesn't matter. That I believe,
Yeah,
that was my takeaway from that video. And I could be mixing these up directly. And I've also reduced an entire video to 2 sentences. So it's subtler than that, but that was my memory of his thesis.
yeah,
It's
I
a
have
good-
to go back and watch it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's essentially, I mean, I remember like his follow-up video to that was like,
Yeah.
balance LOL or something.
Yeah. Hungry.
And
it's-
I mean,
Yeah.
he's applying essentially a very similar exploitative strategy.
Yeah.
To what Brad Wilson is. It's like, notice, you know, when you read about Nuffle,
Yeah.
he's not talking about texture. He's not talking about range versus range. When you listen to Hungry Horse talk about his betting strategy in position against big blind, he's not talking about texture. You know, he's not talking
Okay.
about range versus range. He's
This,
just
I
talking
believe,
about
I think this is the
sizing.
video. Let's see if that's the one. Is this the one that I ask, are they capped? It's called how to choose a perfect way, asking one question. Yeah. This is gonna be the one. So am I sharing my screen?
No.
No, okay, let me go back and share the screen, zoom, boom, share screen. Good. And then I believe that this is the video that we're talking about. I'm not gonna bother to watch it now to make sure, but I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. This is a good one. He makes good stuff. He used
Yeah.
to stream for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
He is, he makes content for Crush Life Poker, actually.
Okay, there we go. All right, that's the link. And back to the world of this. All right, so we saw what we wanted to see on this hand. Next hand, you're up, Larry.
Okay. Villain 43 should raise. Villain 43 should raise and take it.
Exactly. Okay. And in the big blind here, what's our heuristic for what villain 42 should start defending? How big does he have to be offsuit to defend here?
All right, so these questions are always hard for me to do off the top of my head because I unfortunately don't think like that, but I'm gonna give it a go. So,
Handy chart.
okay, handy chart. I think he's super tight. So, like, in the offsuit land, he gets to defend at some point, which is ace jack off, but king jack off are out.
We basically, against this position, we're folding some king queen. That's how tight we are on the offsuit branch.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I
We're
would
forcing
play king queen here, but
yeah.
I think that is probably an error.
And suited tens.
And you can see why defending king queen is an error sometimes for this
Yeah.
combo.
Okay, so let's see if that happens.
Yeah, so this is horrible. Let's go broken stack.
Again, with our broken stack tends to be, I'll repeat it now. There is a strategy that we are not studying for small stack poker, where if you are the small stack, you actually have an advantage. So you could go and become an expert in 30 big blind poker in a cash game and have a mathematical advantage. But
Yeah. But I don't, you know what? I'll be honest, I don't think this combo is,
no, absolutely not. That's gonna be my point, which is the strategy exists. Nobody is teaching it online. And the reason is because there's so much more to be made by being better at 100 big blinds and 200 big blinds. Your upside.
yeah, I mean, it's like
better.
the problem with being a short stack specialist is after you play it well, you double up and then are you gonna just, you can rat hole, I guess.
Well,
But
you do
if
it
you're on
in-
the wrong site, if you rat hole enough, they're probably gonna punish you.
I don't know that. I didn't know that. Do they? I didn't know that they do punish you for that. But certainly live poker, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, you couldn't do it in live, could you? Could you like, I mean, that's just really verboten to like sit down with a broken stack, double up, leave, and then you're not allowed to just move to another table, are you?
Nope, you can change stakes.
Change state, but you can't, yeah,
Yeah.
that's against the law.
Yeah, you could go and do that, or you could live next to the casino and go home if you wanted to be an expert in this. But
And then
it's
come back in 2 hours or something,
right.
right?
But it's a silly strategy because the mathematical advantage is so much smaller than, because that's a mathematical advantage at GTO. The mathematical advantage, it's smaller than the exploitative advantage you have by just playing better than people at 100 big blinds.
Yeah, it just doesn't, the amount of effort to put in to be a
Right.
small stack specialist. I mean, it sound when I was starting to play cash, it sounded intriguing. Oh, wow, this
Mhm.
unique way to approach playing cash with the broken
Yeah.
stack, but yeah, it just, in the long run,
Right.
it just doesn't make sense.
Right. And so what we have discovered from our minor data analysis, yeah, we don't have mass data analysis, but we do have minor data from what we've seen, is the broken stacks play bad.
Yeah.
So they are not broken stack specialists. They are just bad players. As exampled by this 7-4 suited. This does not exist in the broken stack strategy. I don't believe.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, this would be crazy. Okay, but he does it. And that'll at least make it interesting for the ace king in early position. Two folds, the 4-5 should absolutely not play along thinking, oh, I'm getting pot odds, and he doesn't. Good for him.
Yeah, this is
This is not a simple case now for the ace king.
yeah, I mean, so let's go through. What do you guys think?
I think that the Jonathan Little strategy here says that you do a lot of check calling with ace king here.
Shout out to
Yeah.
the OG Jonathan Little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you do a lot of checking.
Yeah, this hand is, what bucket does this hand, and I'm doing the simplified older Jonathan Little strategy. It's changed a bit, but not a bad starting point. Describe this hand to me. This hand is marginally made. If no money goes in, this hand tends to win. If a lot of money goes in, this hand's going to lose here. So
Yeah, I mean, I think you're generally incentivized just to try to
Yeah.
navigate this to showdown.
now the thing that I've noticed in lower stakes that I think that betting this is more of an advantage in lower stakes because the thing they do know is to bet at weakness. But the thing
Yeah.
they don't do enough is do raises they need to do and things like that. So when it's a jump ball, you may not get to the river with your ace king's value.
Yeah, I mean, your situation sucks.
Yeah.
Pretty much anytime you're playing out of position, your situation
Yeah.
sucks. And so I think even though defaulting to check kind of feels icky, I think it's the better of two bad options. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm not really, let's say I've got queens here. I'm still not totally incentivized to bet to the void. I'd rather see how he reacts to my check.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check a lot here.
So with this, the problem is I think this is the thing you really are wanting to have him not do. You do not want to be playing against someone who floats the flop wide and bets it and automatically bets the turn at your check. If that's the player you're playing against, the bet a lot of your hand strategy goes way down. So he checks.
So you're saying so you're saying what you don't want to do is you don't want to check against a player who's gonna bet and then polarize turn in position.
What I'm saying is I don't want to bet against a player whose default here
Is
is
to float.
nuffleish. It's not nuffle because it's not a nuffle situation, but
Uh-huh.
default is I'm going to call really wide against every small bet. And then when you check the turn, I'm going to be betting all the turns you check, regardless of my hand.
Got it. Ace king.
Check raise or 6-6 majority of strat in this spot. Okay.
Yeah, so we bet big, like 4 blinds or check, like 50% of your range check and or maybe 60 check and 40% bets. But
Maybe, I
ace
think
king
that we
call-
generally have smaller bets out of position here.
Yeah, so we're gonna look,
No,
we're gonna
on
look
this
this one up
part,
for
this
exactly
is-
about the reads thing. Hey, Skate, good to see you, man.
Put it in solver actually.
Yeah, we're gonna,
I
with,
think this is
even though it's a
specific
simple
part
thing,
where-
we're gonna check,
Hey.
we're gonna check this, and we'll play it out. Hey, Skate, you're up next. Okay. So it
Okay.
went check, check. And if you're gonna go check, check with your ace, king, I think you stay with that strategy, check, check again. But he doesn't. And now he has to fold, and the 7-4 has figured it out.
No folding ace king.
So
Raise
I
ten.
kinda like this bet. From 7-4. Because, I think. You can buy yourself a river check here a lot.
He can check down the, he can go check, check on the river with his marginally made hand.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright.
And he,
Tell me
he's
when you're
gonna,
ready
he
with this
essentially,
here.
I think this click, in position click. Buys himself a river check out of position.
Yep.
Which allows him to realize equity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Do you think this is a dumb play, stupid play, or someplace in between? from your
No.
position?
No, I think it works.
No,
That's
these
perfectly
these
reasonable.
plays are generally very bad versus very good players.
Yes,
Because we start when you basically here he says he has 6x, 4x, pocket fives, pocket sevens. He doesn't really say he has a set. So in these spots, like when world-class player sees this, we bluff. We literally just bluff. Because when you merge, they start bluffing shooting hands. Ace king is supposed to be like versus if he was so balanced, ace king will be pure call here, but now he can start bluffing ace king. Make
Yep.
it 14, for example, and jam wherever. Just because you rep this like nonsense range.
right.
Merge,
So here's why I
merge
think,
bets.
so I think you're right about every bit of that, but the most important two words you said was, the three words were against world class. And because he probably isn't at these stakes against world class, I think that this face up exploitative play will work a lot and is not a bad play. That's my opinion on it. We'll see. So,
Yeah,
you
I
ready?
don't think this is gonna be in solver.
no, this
um,
won't be in solver, but the ace king's response, you know, what we're thinking about the ace king here.
So,
Because-
okay, I got it set up wrong.
Yeah, good. Because what we got was,
Yeah, so
Archer's,
this is
Archer's
UTG
a
versus
very
button flip.
specific thing was that this is that he says we're gonna do very little checking with the ace king. Like maybe 20% of the range. And when we bet, we're gonna bet big, 66%, and I think that's not true. And I should
Well,
be
let's
more
look at button
specific
flatting
before you
range
show
and
it.
solve first. Which is really, he's pretty much three betting as much as he's flatting, but he's got
Yeah.
a healthy flatting range, I guess. 5% of range, right?
So I'm gonna
Suit
predict that,
broadways.
Right. I'm gonna predict ace king
speculative
does.
combos.
Before you show the range, because I just said that I disagree with Archer, so I gotta be more specific.
Okay,
My prediction is going to be, we do at least 50% checking with ace king here. And when we bet the ace king, it is mostly small. That's what I'm gonna predict.
okay, ready
Yeah,
for the
let's see.
reveal?
Yep, let's see what we get.
I think we're mostly gonna check.
Alright, here we go.
We're just checking massively.
We check
We're just-
massively, and I'm wrong about the size.
So what's driving this? Out of position, the first thing I would be curious about is what our equity realization is. And it's just, I mean, I don't know how to read this number perfectly,
Hmm.
but I can obviously see that it's a lot smaller than what in position's equity
Right.
realization is.
Yeah,
And we even have an equity disadvantage on this, this texture.
Yep.
And we've got twice as many combos that we are
Mhm.
RFI, right? So we do have a nut advantage, but really we're just motivated to check that position.
Yeah.
In theory.
Right.
Right?
but when we bet on that ace king, the size is 50% or the size is 75?
We're betting, we have a B50 here a lot.
Okay,
Like our particular combo is spade diamond,
alright,
spade diamond.
okay. half a point to me
Yeah, we're mostly
Forgetting the-
P50.
for getting the mostly checking and a quarter point and a quarter point to Arthur because 66 is closer to 50 than 33 is.
We're really just across the entire range. If we're
By
gonna choose
one,
a bet here.
by
we're gonna be
1%. If you'd said 66.6, I would have tied with you on that.
So we check. I don't know. You can't really give him an equivalent combo. All we can know is what he's doing with his, I mean, we can give him 7-6. No,
Yeah.
that's not good. It's got a pair. Can give him, no, that's a gut
5-4 is
shot.
5-4 is a direct, so you gotta give him 8-7.
Alright, yeah, so he gets a lot of small bets here.
Yeah.
So he does attack this check on this texture.
Right.
But he's not doing it big.
Right. But he
He's just
didn't.
really. he's
And then
just
he gets the
betting.
4. The 4 comes in and it's of diamonds.
Here, right? The 5-4,
Yeah, 5-4, but the 5-4 is a direct gut shot.
that's dark, that's good. But we're
Yeah.
doing it across, it doesn't really matter what our combo is, because we're doing it across,
Yeah.
we're betting across all our combos.
Yep.
We checked in game, right?
Yeah, we checked in game.
Alright, now this is the question we had. So we had a 4 diamond.
Yeah. And the
I
problem,
don't think the ace
never gonna
king
have
is
a-
motivated to bet that much. Yeah, there's like these.
Nope.
Let's just look at the filter, the ace high real quick. Yeah, we got a gutter here and we're gonna bet. But other than that, we just want to navigate the showdown, especially with our best.
and the bet size now after check on the ace king is when he does it.
With the entire range,
No, just the ace king.
we're like, what, we, 8 diamond, is that it?
75% is his bet size when he does it. No,
Um,
yes, is that equity, the 0.4, or is that frequency? No, that's the point.
Here, it's, we're just throwing frequencies.
Okay,
Okay, so
yeah,
he
good.
checked, right?
No, he didn't. He bet the turn.
Oh, that's right. This is where we get the weird.
He bet the
imposition.
50% and then we got, and then the guy comes in.
So he B50'd here?
No, button.
Well, out of position bet, right?
Yeah, out of position bet and the button did that little
Oh,
raise.
that's bullshit.
So he
And
bets his
he
ace king.
B50'd, right?
Yep, he
And
B50s.
then the question is, we do get raises. You found it, right?
Yeah.
So let's look
Mhm.
at the 4s, which is 1, 2, third pair.
Yeah, he's 5-4. He's not doing it with his hand.
No, he's not. He wants a 6.
Right.
Doing a little bit with this. Then you just have additional.
Right.
So these have additional equity.
Yeah.
He's
And
doing
he
it with the combo. He's got pair plus straw, classic,
Yeah.
bluff combo.
Yeah.
Pair plus straw,
Yeah, but when he bluffs
pair
big.
plus straw. And he's going a lot big.
So let's give him the
But I like
smallest
this play.
raise we can.
I like this play in reality.
Let's break the solver and give him the smallest raise we can, which is
Okay, we can
9.75.
try. It's gonna, okay, we can try, sure.
And I think the ace king folds here. This is a smaller raise.
Yeah, no ace high is a good, yeah, so let's just go look over.
Yeah.
Ace highs are just mostly folding.
But also this raise is bigger.
Yeah.
Than he did.
Yeah.
It's a broken tree. It's a
Alright.
broken tree anyway.
Yeah.
Turn it back.
There we go. All right, Skate, you're up.
Hey Sutton,
And Sutton, you're next if you want to take it, and I'll tell you, and you'll see, you're gonna do what Skate does here. All right,
Okay.
you're up, Skate.
All right. At the moment, I don't see, I just see,
Oh, I'm an idiot. Why don't I share the screen? There you go. You're up.
all right, let's open, ace king, folds around to. Should fold around.
Exactly. That's what should happen. And what do you think might happen, given our experience of how population plays? What might happen?
Jack 8 my limp, ace king then re-raises, and it's gonna fold around all the way around, or.
Yep.
Or what I think is probably gonna happen, probably. And I know Ace King opens and 10-9 calls, as well as maybe the 4-6 might call as well. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I think we may see a call from the 6-4 suited. All right, let's see what we get. There's the
As
raise.
well.
He goes to 3. Yep, everything's normal. Okay. So Sutton, if you want, turn on your mic. You are up next. And what you're gonna do is just take a look from everything and say what to the best of your understanding of GTO or exploitative play, what should happen, and then we'll see
yep.
how close they do it.
We should get folds all the way to the small blind here. Small blind open, 8s defend.
Hmm.
I'm not the expert on small blind versus big blind here, but I think the 8s would defend and not 3-bet.
Yeah, 8s defend by 8s are gonna defend mostly by calling.
Could see, I mean, you're talking about things that might happen. You might see
Yeah.
a 9-10 limp under the gun there. I don't know. Something crazy. Maybe a 4-7 hearts limp. And what is that? Hijack, but it should fold.
Right, now let's take a look. These HUD stats are accurate. So given these
Okay.
HUD stats, it's only 10 hands, but I'd be surprised to see the 9-10 limp, given his HUD stats. Even though he's a V of 40. It's all raises.
It's all right.
Yeah, we don't have anybody here who's a limper yet that we've seen.
Where's your limp stat?
This first one, this is a
Okay.
limp stat. Pre-flop limp is that.
Okay, got it.
And that includes also limping after a limper. This isn't an open limp
Okay.
strat. I didn't find an open limp strat available in Poker Tracker. If it has one, I want to use it instead.
I think I found one. Probably similar.
Okay, take a
I'll-
look. Take a
I'll-
look when you get a chance and I'll put it in.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
That's when I care. So ace queen raises, just like you said. And 8-8, I believe, is a mostly defend by calling, but I would not be surprised to see a 3-bet from an 8-8.
Yeah, I think I wonder if this stacked up to 150 bigs. It seems, I think there's less, 3-betting.
Maybe 9s and 10s starts, or more 10s.
That's
Maybe
interesting.
actually more free betting.
Yeah, let's take a look at how the stack size, the 3-bet, I think should be more prominent. Well, you're in position, so it doesn't need to be. So I don't know. I don't have a prediction. Larry, this is something you can look up because you've now got the extra thing.
All right, sure.
I'm gonna go to the regular
So,
max world.
I'm gonna assume that's gonna be mostly calling with
so the
very
question
little 3
is,
bets.
if,
Yes.
all right.
So at 100 big blinds, it's 13% 3-betting the 8s. Let's see what it does at 150. That's you, Larry.
Okay, we are 3-betting it less. We're 3-betting it 17%.
Yep, share it. Let's take a look.
Sure. So this is, okay, so this is kind of screwed up, actually. This is 9 max live, 10% rake.
Okay,
I change it to 6 max. This
6 max NL 50.
does pertain to the game we're playing.
Yep.
NL 50, GTO. Raise. So yeah, it's a pure flat here.
Right.
I think this is, these hands are just got really sexy implied odds this game.
Mhm.
And I think they want to just flat, like what happens? We looked at what happens when you go to 100 big blinds, right?
Keeping everything else the same.
Still flat.
Yeah, they flat mostly, but they have the raise. So in position, we are raising less with a hand like this as we get deeper stacked. Okay. Going.
I wonder if it's because our implied odds are greater at a deeper stack to the set. And so getting 4-bet off our equity is worse.
Yep. And if we get
Yeah.
4-bet, we don't fold. I don't think we fold the 8s in this configuration. So now we're just
You're
paying
probably
more
right,
for our
actually.
equity than we need to. As I take a look, there's the raise when we 3-bet the 8s and he comes in 4-bets. We are not
Like-
folding. 8s.
What's
We're just paying for it.
Mhm.
so when the small blind four bets, or do they have, I mean, what's gonna be their bluffs? Are ace, X, king X, I'm guessing?
The
Always
lovely
just think the
Arbor
magic.
specials. Look at,
Yeah,
look at,
always
look
think
at,
that region's
Mm.
okay.
Okay,
Always
Okay.
think like where he is, where you can make the wheel, your suited wheel.
Yeah.
Aces.
and I
Mm.
think that in our games, even even in small blind versus big blind configuration, I think that this jam of tens is vital.
Yeah,
Because I
do.
don't think they have enough. I don't think this guy has enough of this in his
Yeah,
range.
this range is too linear.
Yeah. I don't think I mean, he's got some of this, but just not enough. The tens. I think that this jam is going to be facing a lot of this.
That's a little bit.
That has
A
been
little bit
my
aggressive against what a human's for better.
Yeah, because my experience is that doing it with the jacks and the queens, I'm running up against this a lot more than I want to. Okay. So he does it and ace queen should not fold. Oh, I'm sorry. This is you skate. What does ace queen do?
it's me still.
no,
So-
it's,
Uh, you know, I would probably just call. But I wonder if that's actually kind of a mistake. I wonder if this should maybe be four bet bluff candidate on the offsuit side, and then at this stack depth, I'm not really sure.
I think it's fine, because I don't think the
probably
hand is strong enough for, maybe ace king could go with it, or tens plus, jacks plus, I don't know.
I think in solver land, you're gonna get some shoves here,
Yeah,
but
I
maybe
think,
not this deck though.
right. Yeah, at the 150. I don't think, but going back, even in this configuration, I think that I don't think we do a lot of calling with the ace queen here. If we were in an earlier position with the ace queen, I think we do almost no calling to the three bet. I think it's four bet and fold.
So I'm looking at B150 here in this config.
Yeah.
And, well, the first thing is that your four bet size is big. It's to 28 bigs. And you don't have shoves once you get to 150.
Yeah. So let's look at it the standard 100 first, and then we'll go to that. So he does the raise. And here we are in the small blind. And facing this, our ace queen does almost no calling, even in this configuration.
All
And
you
go
can eat,
to
sir.
move the initial guy to the hijack instead. Why do I have all my GTO ranges? I don't want
Wow,
GTO.
I was completely wrong.
Here we go. In the hijack, when we get three bet by the big blind. It's also positioning, being out of position. There we go. Now we have no calls. And we're in position and we still have no calls. Now out of position, but it's wider ranges that do it. So there's your raise. Okay, let's see what this does at 150. How this changes. Raise, he three bets and almost no folding and almost no call.
Hey, there's still 100, Scotty.
Yeah, this is 100. No, 150 is
Oh.
going to be Larry's got the 150.
All right, I am ready to share.
Oh, I hit the wrong button again. There we go. Share away.
All right, so small blind raises. Big blind three bets.
With his nines, not his eights.
And also take notice that in this configuration, our three bet size is two big blinds bigger.
Yeah.
And then over here,
Which our guy didn't do. Our guy
Yeah.
went to 9.
and then we have also, instead of 21, 28, and we don't have shoves.
Nope.
We don't have shoves at this deck.
But the call is more prominent.
With the combo ace queen off,
Yeah. Yeah, the call is more prominent there. We don't have any folds.
What, at a higher stack depth?
Yeah. At the higher stack depth. That surprises me. Okay.
the thing that I take away from this is that in this configuration at B150, in theory, we don't have four bet shoves.
Right. Yeah. That's an important one. So with this, he should not fold. He should be four betting and doing a tiny bit of call, four betting and calling.
I'm with Sutton on this. I think that this is against what usually is a more linear range with humans. I think the call is better.
Right.
And I think this is too, well, this is hero, I think maybe you're going a little small.
Oh, this is me. I went too small. Yeah, I did. I didn't even know this was me. Okay, so as me, this is too small.
Yeah, because what do you want to do with your ace queen off? Do you really want to play it out of position and blow the
No.
pot, or do you really want to generate folds?
No, the right size at 100 big blinds is
I think it's
21. So I went to 18 big blinds. I should have been 21. Okay,
Yeah, I think you're really, especially, so I wouldn't mind exploitative sizing here with aces and kings.
mm-hmm.
But I would think that you prefer to generate a fold here, so I would.
I
size
do.
up.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. Okay. After four betting, we do a lot of continuing small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
big.
not small, is it?
That's too big.
see, but we know you're a redliner now, so
Yes, there we go.
red line life.
That went well. Yeah, I think I think both those sizings were a mistake.
Yeah, I liked your bigger sizing actually a little bit. We do get B50s in 4-bet pots at some frequency. It's not our most common size are B20s and B33s out of position, but we do get some B50s.
Good. Yeah, I took one. And
However,
it may have
at-
been, by the way, I may have rushed I may have been thinking about my my 4-bet size since you don't 4-bet that often, or I don't. And
No.
so I don't have the sizes at my fingertips. And so I may have like started to time out and gone, and hit the button and then realized that it was small and bet bigger.
yeah,
I
sure.
might not have, but
Yeah, I'm certainly not super aware of sizing in
yeah.
4-bet pots.
But also these hands are from, I mean, I was a much worse player when I did these hands. These hands are from like Saturday. Now, these are recent hands.
Before
Okay,
this in-depth study, this is really different.
exactly. All right. Skate, go again.
All right, I think all right, well, I think it's gonna be a lot of folds, folds around to big blind's gonna take it down, but
I'd like that.
And-
Yeah.
yeah, queen jack off might just limp, kind of thing.
Yeah, let's see. Looking at the guy, I don't expect a limp from him, from his stats. And I don't expect him to raise this early,
True.
but he might. No, he doesn't. Okay. I'm not opening. There we go. All right, Sutton, you're back up again.
Yay.
All right, ace-8 fold, jack-10 fold. Folds to the cutoff. Ace-4 opens. And then we're done.
We'd like that. This 5-4 does raise, this 5-4 is a correct raise at some frequency here. The frequency is 12.5% for me. It's a
I
sliver.
think that this queen 10 off, it gets interesting at this stack depth. I think this deep, I throw it away.
Oh, yeah.
But
First implied odds.
you at 100 big blinds, I think you mix, but I think you throw it away here.
Yeah.
I think the reverse implied too
we go.
big here.
There's our raise. He calls it.
Oh, he's in small blind. Never mind. I thought he was a big blind.
Yeah, he's a small blind. This
Okay,
is,
yeah, so that's a fuck up.
this is a bad call from him. And I believe that that's his, I believe that his strategy includes playing a lot of hands, even though we've only got 12 on him and he's a V36 and he's raised all of them. I believe that this guy is in a lot of hands over this night. I think I remember him. Okay,
This is 2 nights ago.
and this 2-8 is a fold. And he gets it. Oh, well, I
Let's see
can't
if
have,
we have a
my-
donker. Do we have a donker, ladies and gentlemen?
we do not. We have a check raiser.
I would just check back with the ace high. I think that especially with this board, I think that this board probably connects pretty good with a guy that's got a calling range out of the small blind.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of I don't necessarily think that we need to start bluffing yet. We do have the back door, yeah. And we do have like the smaller ones, so I think sometimes like with the smaller ace X, you can start with the bluffing here. But I do think this board is better for them than us here.
Technically, we also have a backdoor straight, but I don't want to count that. That's a stupid straight.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys are right. I think another question I'd like to ask here is how much does a check raise sucks? And we've got a high level of suckiness with check raise here because we've got backdoor equity.
But I can, but I can throw it away to a check raise. Let's see what he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, we gotta throw it aggressive check raise, so that, yeah, so check raise sucks.
So here we go. He checks. I check behind. All right. A Sutton approved play.
That turn was certainly unapproved by Hero.
Right. How,
Yeah,
how
I-
trappy is he? Oh,
Yeah.
he's so trappy. Oh,
See, I don't see, like the
Uh,
queen is kind of tricky. Like if I had queen X,
mhm.
I would have been much more inclined to be betting on the flop. And so I'm gonna know, like, I don't know, he doesn't know this, but I know that I am very unlikely to have a queen when the
Yeah.
queen hits the turn. Like if I had queen jack, I would have bet the flop.
Right. King,
Uh,
queen, king. The only one you wouldn't have maybe is ace, queen, maybe.
Right,
But
right.
king, queen,
That's-
queen, jack.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of
And
queen X here.
Yeah.
And I feel like he probably does have like a lot of like queen jack, queen nine, queen eight type holdings here.
Yeah.
As a guy that's like in the small blind limping or small blind flatting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have bet this queen.
Right.
I
That would have
think
been a better idea.
I think the other
There's-
side, the one final thing is once you kind of, and maybe I do this too much, but once I start with the check line with the ace high,
Mhm.
and I don't have some reason to improve here on the turn, I continue with it.
Solver does that as well. When solver
I think
chooses to check down its ace high on flop, it usually continues that line. of reasoning.
Yeah. That is going to be my adjustment starting today. After seeing one hand, that's going to be my adjustment.
Oh, we can just fold now. That's easy.
Oh, yeah, we did. We didn't throw more money into this silly pot. All right,
Another example of the turn check raise being the strongest play.
exactly. Artur. Then Larry.
Walk.
Walk. There's your walk. All right. Larry
Alright,
and skate.
let's look over this for a second. So, king, queen
Okay.
off gets to open, and it should actually be a raise and take, but jack eight might come along mistakenly.
Yeah. Let's look at his stats. I think he's not going to. He could. But these stats don't look like that guy. There's the raise. And the fours. Ace four. This is a big mistake. Our handy dandy chart shows us against the hijack. Here's our little handy dandy chart that I made. Versus the hijack, offsuit jacks, suited eights to give the bulk, and then the other two numbers to know what are your corners? Ace 10 and queen 6 suited. And so this is very far out of that. And he wins for it. All right, who's up? I think this is Artur. So being in this place, oh no, who took this one?
Larry.
Yeah, I think this is yours, Larry. Larry's dead. Okay.
Whoops, how about, can you hear me
There you
now?
are. Okay, yeah, we can hear you
Alright,
now.
guys.
So given that you're here,
Alright, so poor play is rewarded.
yes,
Time to pay off the poker gods. So Dylan, there should be no donking on this, obviously. Um, what would I do in this situation? I would use the hungry horse principle and go like, I would bet like 3.2 big blinds here.
Mhm.
With most of my range.
This is a board we can bet big on, 2 Broadway cards.
Are just simplifying to the hungry horse principle. So, yeah,
You go small. I'm sure small's in there.
you have no reason to check raise here, this combo, when you're gonna be dominated, you're gonna be.
Yep.
Kicker dominated a lot, so I think we just call. I don't think I just
Good.
call. That's an interesting card for big blind, so check and. If I was villain 43. I would, with a heart, I would continue polarizing. Without a heart. I think I often will give up here.
Okay. I want to
Larry.
throw this to the solver because I have one disagreement with you. When I have a heart and I continue, I don't think I polarize. I think we have to bet small on the flush completing card.
I was
agree.
with.
I mean, this is not playing towards solver. This is kind of.
Okay. Oh,
Well,
okay.
Yeah, Sutton had a question.
Well, Larry, you just referenced like Hungry Horse, and I feel like this is a Hungry Horse spot that would say to bet smaller because this is the villain here is uncapped.
Yep.
And so in that situation, when villain is uncapped here, we want to go smaller because also think if we had like ace jack or something, right? And or like even like ace queen maybe, right? Like we wouldn't want, well, this guy here, we don't really want him to fold this particular hand. But if we bet big, like the only thing that's going to continue are good aces with like heart draws, like,
Mhm.
and so I kind of wonder with the Hungry Horse thought process here, because if we bet smaller, remember the best bluff is the bluff where they call flop, call the turn, and fold the river.
Yeah.
We bet small here, they continue with wider range. We get to the river and we can then bluff more profitably. So that's the
Yeah, I
only,
could see that. So you think the hungry horse line here would be bet small flop?
No, on the
that-
turn.
I think you
on the
would bet
turn.
half pot,
Yeah,
probably something similar to half pot on turn.
Yeah.
And then we see what river happens.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that makes sense. I think you got a good point.
And
yeah,
with this,
in the chat, Hungry Horse Mike is like Hungry Horse Poker. He's on YouTube. What's his name? Mark? I'm not sure, but
I'm
he's
gonna,
been,
the
Mark
the
Goon.
video that you're referring to.
Yeah.
I have, let me get that. I posted that earlier, that exact video we were talking about this theory. So it's this video right here. Let me repost it for the guys who got here late. I think this is it. This is
Yeah.
his, where the one question for the bet size and his question is.
Here's
very
how
different
auto
than this.
mechanics.
Oh, shut up.
I know. I clicked on the link and then it
Oh,
started.
okay, you did that. Okay,
That was me.
I thought that was me. All right. In that case,
Yeah, I think you have a good point. I think, yeah, best bluffs are where we get a call on flop, get a call on turn, and then we get them to fold on river. I do remember that. So
okay. And, and Artur was asking, he did want to see this one in a sim, so.
okay, let's run through it.
Yep, and we'll finish the hand. And then we'll look that, and then Mike, you're up next, because you just got here. Welcome, Mike. We're doing starting at 9:15 from now on. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I missed that new time.
Yeah, as we figured. All right, here we go. So on the turn, I believe that if king, queen bets again, it has to be small. And that, and he goes big, he polarizes. He doesn't overbet, but that's still a polarized size.
I think it's polarizing.
And the ace grits his teeth. Because that's what you do with
his
limited
gut- gutter,
made hands.
too.
Yep. And then. The paired 10 is terrible for the ace four.
Is he going to find a triple? with No equity.
There's the check.
I think
He
the
does
10
not.
is, I
He
think the
gives,
10 is terrible. I don't know.
yeah, the 10 is, the 10 is terrible for the king, for the, in position player. The 10 is also terrible for the hand ace four,
Yeah, but
but
the problem is like you have to think like when you use that big sizing on turn,
yeah,
does 10x call? Like it's 10x with a heart.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't know, like a
I would,
king 10
I
off.
would. I would.
Yeah.
That's me.
Now, king 10, we should, this is against the hijack. We should not have much king 10 in the hijack. We have a little bit of calling with king 10 in the hijack pre-flop, just to look at that. There's our hijack raise, big blind. Does a tiny, calls about half the king 10s. Yeah, sorry, calls a quarter of the king 10s. Oh, I know why I do this in half. Because I've combined all the queen 10 and jack 10 into king 10 in my simplification. That's why I'm calling, I know that I call this half the time. And now I see why. But yeah, if I had king 10 with a king of hearts, I would call a 75 there.
Do you wanna see what, the
Yeah.
computer overlords do?
Yes, let's see what the computer overlords that play at equilibrium do.
Alright, this is hijack, RFI. Big blind flat. Is our flop? Who's winning?
And why do we not have
Battle.
any king? Because we're in why does our big blind not have any king 10? Why is it playing a different strategy than me?
150 big blinds deep.
Oh, yep, 150. I don't, yep, that's what it is.
We're not at $150.
No, let's go back to the 100. 100 with NL50 rake. And and keep it on 6
One
max.
hundred
6 max is
general,
different.
NL50,
Yeah.
GTO. That looks right, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Alright, so how does this,
There we go. There's some
range
king.
change? Yeah, so now king 10 comes in.
And this is the difference is, oh, this is a raise of 2. And his raise size was 2.5 initial. So let's go. Yeah, go to the, not GTO, go to the 2.5. And now
Actually,
you-
that's why
okay,
this is not star, and I'm star.
there we go.
Okay.
Because the king 10
well,
was prominent.
hijack.
There's the range. There's the range I know.
Okay, yeah, we've got a sliver now.
Okay,
Who
so
wins the range battle now? Hijack wins the range battle.
hijack
Both
low.
fronts.
Yeah.
So position is winning here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna translate with our combo.
Right. So hijack with this combo of king, queen, bets on the flop and he bets small and he bets half pot. He does both.
So betting across range, we always see that, right?
Yeah.
First thing. We had spade diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just mixing.
Yep.
He chose to bet, right? What size? He
Yeah,
chose what?
he bet the small size, which is totally fine.
Okay, so we're gonna have to substitute the ace. We'll give him like ace four diamonds or something.
Right.
He
because
is
he doesn't
always
have any-
calling. I guess the real question is what happens on this turn, which was the two of hearts, right?
Yeah, this is the big one is
The first question is, do we get donks? A little bit.
a little bit.
But we're, yeah, not enough to. So
Definitely
check,
not with our combo.
so we're probably gonna need a heart. Yeah, we're just gonna
Yeah.
give up without a heart.
Give up without a heart. And the sizing is
Um,
no overbets. Some
we
70.
do get some 50, 125s actually.
Do we? Oh my, the range,
Not many.
Not many, no.
Yeah.
Well, let's just look at this example. Yeah,
But
not
when you
much.
get a second, change the deuce to an offsuit. And I would suspect you see more bigger betting.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright,
so the range, so let's looking at our range, it's 17%, 75 and 19% 50. With the heart. Now let's see how that changes.
Okay, so just,
Um,
let's talk about the hungry heart adjustment here.
Yeah.
So he would bet small again here.
Hungry horse, you fish. Go on.
He would bet small here and then he would bomb river, I think, on a lot of rivers. But anyway, okay, right here, we want to change this to an offsuit too.
Not
Okay.
a double flush, not a double flush. Double flush has its own special.
Here's how
special
to
flush.
choose the perfect bet size on every street by asking just
There we go.
Yeah, we polarize more.
So the flush completing card did push our bet size down, not to 33, but it pushed it down from lots of 175 and lots of 125 into lots of 50 and 33.
Because now we can take the kind of exclusive part of our range, which is ace, king, and aces on the offsuit too. And we can really bang into the upper portions of his range, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is the thought process there.
yeah, so this brings in completed equity and a big part of big blind's calling range
Is the
are
heart.
going to be now flushes.
They have, and big blind is going to have a high density of suited combos that they defend with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can confirm that.
So-
So let's just confirm that. Just for fun.
That just makes it,
Flush.
yeah.
Yeah, we can see it here. So at this point, big blind has, to use a technical term, a shit ton more flushes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
always gonna drive down.
it's actually really interesting. I literally was just looking at some GTO Wizard training videos on turn c-bet strategies, and we get into this very spot.
Yeah,
This plays out exactly like we were talking, they were reviewing in the GTO Wiz stuff. I mean,
did they use range versus range to demonstrate their example?
they talked about these spots. Now the one other thing that they talked about, could you go and just show me the hijack node there, Larry, on turn real quick?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then could you change it to the two of clubs again for me? And I think if we messed with this even more, if you saw the button range, if this became hijack, if instead of hijack's position, this became buttons, I think that you would see that the bet sizes get even bigger. Because we really are going to be pounding on a big blind range that is probably not going to include like ace 10 would 3-bet in the solver big blind versus button. And so we would get to just really extract lots of value from the top of big blind's range, with our nutted range, versus, and the other thing that they talked about is as you are in earlier position, which I think we see here, if we were in earlier position, the more you don't get as many overbets because your range is so strong. So your any bet you make as an early position opener is scary, right? So
yeah.
you don't get to have those overbets as much.
And I think that makes sense too, because once you go small blind versus big blind, well, that doesn't quite, it's not quite the same because you're out of position.
Mhm.
But you'll see a lot of really wild lines, blind versus blind, because ranges are super wide.
Because you have wider ranges in play, and so that also means like wider calling range, right? So if you think about like what I don't necessarily know small blind versus big blind well enough to talk about it, but in the button versus big blind scenario, you really eliminate that kind of upper left quadrant of the what's the guy call it? I can't remember the chart essentially, right? And so on this board, you're not as worried about aces, tens, or ace 10 in theory, or
Yeah, he's missing. Big blind misses this. We don't have it.
right. And so you can just pound away on these safe bricky turns.
Yeah, That's your point.
And I think that there was some range splitting going on that was probably beyond my capability to talk more about.
Like, split sizing.
Yeah, because then there was like if you had bet like a 10x hand or something in this situation and you wanted like, try to get 8s or 9s to continue, then you would try to use a smaller sizing, and it was, yeah, I don't.
Then
I
we
don't-
got to solve our law.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets complex. Do we want to just run this out? If, he chose to, what did he do in game?
He bet,
He chose to
75,
polarize,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's continuing his, so he's got a gutter.
Right.
He's gonna continue, he continued.
Right. Now, to do this, he shouldn't be doing this without a heart. But
Yes.
his
true.
combo does do it, and it does do it at this size. Although this is not, his most common size is 50. But this is still.
So the question becomes, do any of our aces in big blind get nervous? And I don't think.
Yeah.
we can default.
Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, that's pretty dramatic.
Yeah, if you don't have a gut shot to go with it, and it's not a good ace,
Another super common, solver heuristic. Continue with hands that have the ability to improve.
Right.
So,
but interesting, the ace 6, which doesn't. Let's see, is there a suited, because the ace 9 folds completely, which is an interesting blocker property.
I would
It
imagine
block-
that's, you're blocking bluffs.
You block a
probably.
9 jack.
Yeah,
Bluffs,
probably blocking
but
bluffs.
it's a blocker property. We without knowing what the blocker is, let's just look at the blocker number.
We can look at our blocker numbers.
Yeah, it's
Ace.
3, 1.
We're, our value removal, which is important, if we're gonna continue, is very low.
Yeah. Look at that,
Whereas-
look at that compared to the ace 6. Let's see what's going on.
Well,
there.
that doesn't matter because it's,
The ace queen is real.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not that number. All
I
right,
thought it, okay, okay,
it's
forget-
things we,
the
So
esoteric
down
blocker
to-
number. Okay, so he chose big. But he had ace 4, so he gets to call.
Yep.
Right?
because you can pick up a 5.
And then we got the repeat 10.
Yeah.
Not gonna have any donks.
Nope.
Now the question is, what is he gonna do with his busted king queen off? He's just, I have no equity.
Go for it. I blocked
YOLO.
flush.
So we should see a very polarized city graph. We don't see a polarized city graph. Except for his combos, or his combos.
Well, it's, I mean, so flushes and full
Well, this
house.
is kind of weird, right? This city graph is off because here's your 50%.
Yeah,
And then it's like, it goes from like. So you can look at equity in the lower right-hand corner.
Yeah.
So it goes from 60 to 20, and then these are the king queens.
Right.
Which have 1% equity.
yeah, so this is still polar.
This is super polar. Are we doing this more with we're doing this with our flush blocker.
But also because we don't get here in that combo without flush blockers.
Yeah,
Keep
we
going
want a
down,
flush blocker to pull
Yeah.
this,
keep going down here. Let's just
pull
see
this
this,
insanity
block.
off. Okay,
the king
flush
jack.
blocker,
does the
flush,
same
this
thing
is all gonna be flush blocker.
Yep.
Go down here. This is
Without a
like-
flush blocker, you don't do it.
This is
And-
like YOLO, let's ignore this. I think the important thing is. If you have a flush blocker here,
You can do it.
then, yeah, go G-Gen.
Yep. And then down where we're not doing it, the real garbage where it's just give up.
All
Is
this,
all this straight draws without a flush blocker.
yeah, everything that's.
Yeah,
got
It's
flush.
all gonna lose, but you can't bet, but you can't continue without a flush blocker.
Yeah, we really want the flush blocker.
And in that area in the middle, that is.
Yeah.
That's marginal behind.
This is
includes-
like our worst.
Yeah, it includes,
Even our-
ace- I think it includes a 10. I think there's a 10 in there. Up near the top of it.
Well, let's do it this way. So trips, let's go look at
Yeah.
trips. we're gonna look at, I think it's easier if we're gonna go specific combo.
Yeah, at trips.
Trips are mixing depending on if we have, I don't know, depending on whatever, we all have a argue with trips. We only get here.
that you need a heart blocker. Without a heart blocker, you just check your trips.
I can go with that heuristic.
That's strong.
There's something going on very interesting here with trash removal. We're moving, so this is fair, so this is super geeky, but alright, notice our trash. The higher our trash removal, the more we bluff, right? I'm sorry, the lower our trash removal, the more we bluff.
Yes,
Because we want they
We want him
us
to have trash.
trash if we bluff.
Yeah.
Notice we're 0 here, then this one, which isn't bluffing, and just giving up, well, it's not giving up, we've got trips.
and trash removal is the opposite in the order, which is. Well, they all blocked that.
Yeah. This is like, we're going real deep on this one, I think maybe we
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
But we are choosing to check with this with the high trash removal number.
Yeah.
Where we are blocking their trash. For some reason, and then,
We have the queen. Well, no, but yeah, we have the queen.
well,
of-
it's the club for some reason,
Okay,
it's
I'm gonna
doing
stop.
it. Alright,
Yeah,
handing
okay.
this back, deep dive completed. I need to take a
Alright,
break.
Mike. Let's see what loveliness Mike gets.
Is this our usual, take the pre-flop and kind
Exactly.
of, gotcha. All right, should fold to the button. Button should raise and take it.
That's
is
what should happen.
happen.
And that button 6-5 should be 100%,
Oh,
6-5,
sure. Absolutely.
100%. But he doesn't take it. And is he a
Interesting.
Jack? Nope, he just doesn't like that. Okay.
Yeah,
Having
then the
done
queen
that-
jack should raise.
Yep.
They should raise and take it.
Okay.
Look at that. No limps or goofy shit happening.
No, we haven't seen, we have seen no limps at this table yet, by the way, just so you got here. This player, Villain 40, has made the most egregious mistakes, if I remember, if it's the right guy. Yeah. All right. I'll go.
Fold around to ace deuce. And he should raise and take it. Look at that. Really? Oh, little min raise.
Yeah, this is the guy who's playing wrong.
I think the 9-2 should still fold unless you really think that this villain 40 is just really bad, then maybe you could just call anything, but I'd probably still fold.
Yeah. So Jonathan Little's answer here was, he says that a min raise from the small blind is saying to the big blind, I don't believe you can realize 25% equity in position. That he's insulting you, saying, I don't think you can realize 20%, 25% equity, and virtually every hand in your range in position should be able to realize 25% equity against the other guy's range. But 9 deuce is 9 deuce. Just have a sandwich. All right. Take
Alright,
another
this is an
one.
interesting one.
Yeah, ace-7 should open. Ace-5 can 3-bet, and if it were me, I would pure because it's one of those hands that just kind of lump them all into.
Yep.
But ace-7 should open. If he doesn't, ace-5 should open. Ace-5 should 3-bet if he does, and gets around to the queens. Gee, well, versus
Queens are
the
not easy. Not
yeah,
against this
versus the early
configuration.
position raise, like under the gun queens is a really heavy, just flat on the small blind there. And maybe even versus ace, maybe even versus the under the gun +1.
Nope. The queens here. Oh, you were saying that just against a single raise, right? But against a raise and a re-raise, queens has 0 flatting.
No, I wouldn't flat a 3-bet there.
Yeah, the
Absolutely
3-bet.
not.
I think it does a lot of folding to this configuration.
It might this early, this is like, if we get an RFI and a 3-bet this early,
Yeah,
it's gonna have some squeezes, but it's, that's gonna be a cold 4, it's gonna have some, yeah, I think it might fold.
yeah. All right. Let's see what does happen. Raise. He folds. Now the queens don't fold.
Nope. Now the queens, I think if you look at your charts, it's gonna call like probably like 80% of the time and 3-bet like the rest of it.
There's your raise there. There's your
It might
lovely
even
ace five.
might
There's
even
your-
call 100% of them.
Yep.
It
There's,
depends on your rake, I think. I think at
Right.
this rake though, I think it's gonna get a lot of
Yep.
three bets.
but there's your pure 3-bet lumping these all together. That's great. He chooses not to do it. Small blind queens,
Half and half.
I stand corrected, sir.
a lot of calling for them. But if you have a strategy, if you have the simplified strategy that I'm playing, which is 3-bet or fold, 3-bet. That's not a fold. And he does.
Yeah, I would look at the villain stats and or see like how he's been playing and determine if I 3-bet or flat.
Right. Okay.
Now the A7 should fold.
Yep. That was easy. All right. Do one more to catch up. We've been doing ones instead of threes, but do one more because
Copy. Somebody was saying the A7 might be too early to open, and no, I think he opened every
No.
suit except for ace deuce is on the charts anyway.
Yep. And on the charts, 100%. And I think also in population, I don't think there's any adjustment that says don't do
Yeah,
this.
you really wanna draw to the nuts here.
The ace three in the under the gun also, we said ace two. The ace three doesn't become pure until this position. Sorry. The ace three doesn't become pure until this position. It's about 50% here. It's, 12% here, percent, whatever. But all these. Yeah, A7 is nowhere near too early. Okay. Take one more, Mike.
King 10's gonna have some small frequency opens there. It does have some folds. Ace Jack would definitely open. I'm gonna bet based on that guy's. He's probably gonna fold. I think he folded like 6-5 on the button. Anyway, they can raise, they can fold. I typically kind of fold King 10 off there depending on table, but Ace Jack should open and King Deuce suited versus the cutoff defend versus the low jack fold.
No folds. Versus the cutoff.
No, I said versus the low jack he might
Oh,
fold.
yeah. Versus the low
Yeah, I
jack.
think this gets out versus low jack.
Versus the low jack, the king deuce, calls, about 25% of the time. And against here, it's a pure play and it
Yep.
is, raises 25% against the cutoff and calls the rest of the time. Let's see. And then we'll see what they actually do. All right.
And
So-
by the way, if the King 10 does open Ace Jack, I think is gonna fold. Maybe it has a sliver of 3-betting, but it's just gonna fold, I think.
No, zero 3-bets there against this position. The ace jack, it's ace queen. Ace queen's about, ace queen here, I think is about 75% there. We'll see. See on all those and then we'll do it. Okay. So the first thing is the king 10 and the king 10 here is in the low jack is about 25% raise. So start with our low jack, king 10 off. 25.8. God, I suck at this game. When he raises the big blind, you see this? It's the cutoff here, right? He's got no ace jack,
Yep.
ace, king, queen there. And the big blind I say is the king deuce is about 25% call, the rest are folds. 26.8. God, I suck. Against the cutoff. When he raises his ace jack, the big blind should be about 25% raises and the rest are calls, no folds. There we go. I'm happy with that. All right. Let's see what happens. King 10 elects not to do it. Great. Ace jack has to do it. He's a broken stack. And he goes to 3. I
King
think
Deuce would be a fold now.
the combination of the broken stack and the 3 might put king deuce in a fold situation.
I think you've got a good point.
Right. Can we look at this pre-flop, both those together?
Yep.
Larry, check, you wanna see if
I'll
if you've got
check.
the,
I'm not
do
sure
that.
really.
and let's see what I do. Knowing that,
Me, Opening size.
I go for the quarter of the time that it's a 3-bet against 2.5, I decide to do it against 3.
Ooh.
RFI was cut off.
Yeah,
You're surprisingly in.
alright, let's
Versus
see.
a 3-bet versus a 3,
Yeah, let's take a look.
Don't, well, let me go to, I'll go to pre-flop only and check. So
Yeah,
this
go to-
is 50 big blinds,
I
cut off
said-
RFI. Now we're in the big blind. And we're surprisingly in.
yeah,
But-
that's versus 2.2.
Yeah,
That's-
so
that
that's, let me
doesn't
see
surprise me.
if we have. Pre-flop only, we have. Pre-flop only 50 and all 50, 3. No cash drop, thank you, here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's-
3,
Oh, this is great. Look at this. This is the
Falls out.
exact situation.
it does
should-
fall out. I mean, it's just, so. I don't know if this is due to the bigger size or what we've seen as. Some different algorithms, for lack of a better word, in these pre-flop only sims. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the pre-flop only sim has a different algorithm.
Yeah.
A different assumptions, and I believe the different assumption is the 3-bet size that you come in with. So therefore it adjusts it changes the adjustment before.
Yeah, this falls out.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, yeah,
So I,
this becomes a exploitative fold almost.
so I think in mine, let me, share again. There we go. I think that with the 2 adjustments here, you know, not this. We want poker tracker. There it is. Okay. I think looking at the fact that he has a broken stack should make my suited combo go down. The fact that that he goes 3 and not 2.5 should make me a little more polar. And I think this should be a fold. I think this was a mistake.
I mean, I'm not ever gonna say an aggressive play is a
Yeah.
mistake here.
error on the side of aggression is usually pretty good. Although the
Suicide.
fact that he's so short, the 3-bet really kind of starts to like
Commit-
it's
It's 2 to
yeah.
1. Yeah. I mean, I'm not folding top pair, no kicker now.
no.
No, this is, you got the droid that you're looking for.
I do. I do. I could certainly check this combo.
Yep. I
You're in
would
a
too.
very weird SPR situation here. I
It's
think
gonna
you-
go all in 2 bets.
Yeah, I think making this a 2-street game makes sense.
So I do go for the check of that combo. He jams and I'm not folding.
That's nutty.
I'm not folding. I know me. There we go.
That is our most, so ladies and gentlemen, we've seen our biggest blunder of the day and it went to our hero.
The biggest blunder, the second biggest blunder, not of the day. The biggest blunder was a 7-4 suited that paid off for this guy, same guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
My pre-flop blunder, which it is not near as dangerous or egregious as this.
I'm gonna challenge you on that a little bit, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Why are you putting this 3-bet into blunder region?
This one, pre-flop. I think this is a mistake. I think this pre-flop raise is a mistake, given the things we talked about.
Which are, he's got a short
His-
stack.
His short stack and his 3 big blind open. This is
So
perfect
why,
fine against the 2.5 and a full stack. And I learned,
so,
and I learned the
what-
chart for that.
yeah, okay, well,
So that's why I
That's
did
true.
it.
but. Okay, all right, good enough.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, we saw in this region in some of the charts. Like we saw in this region at 2.5 RFI, we did get 3 bets
Yeah.
from this region. At 50 big blinds.
I mean, it's a
So,
blunder because this right here, this is what I was doing. I was doing it for this reason. This was 2 nights ago. I remember. It was
Mhm.
King Deuce has some raises, you know, and this combo fits within it and I'm doing it.
Okay.
But I didn't make the adjustment, not against 3 big blinds and not against 50 big blinds.
Okay, just for the sake of argument,
Yes,
with post flop only at 2.5 big blinds, or 2.2 big blinds is the opening, so it is different.
Yeah.
You do get 3 bets from this.
right. Against 50. Against a 50 big
At
blind.
50
bet,
big
right?
blinds.
Yep. So not a huge blunder, but again,
Yeah,
2.2 and 3 is a very big difference.
yeah, okay,
I didn't
enough.
adjust for it,
okay.
but I did adjust for the fact that that he is not a good player, and I've seen that already. I believe we saw the showdown with the 7-4.
Yeah.
But if not, I mean, I've already got, let's see, what did we see? No, we didn't see it. It didn't get shown down. But anyway. Then that happened. And when this happened, it was a combination of 2 things here. That bet feels desperate.
Yeah, I think that's a good read.
That is, Louis says that the over bets are underbluffed seriously, and certainly underbluffed versus what GTO says, which is the bigger you bet, the more bluffs you can have. And the way population plays, the bigger they bet, the fewer bluffs they actually have. That's
In free bet pots, it doesn't apply here. It's different. Here it's overbluff. I'm telling from experience. It's
Okay.
hell overbluff. When
That-
they jam, it's too rare we jam like sets or king queen.
yeah.
So, I've talked about this before, and I think Peter Clark talks about this too. So when your aggressive action happens, you've increased the stakes. And so, a gambler or degen's adrenaline goes up. And I think Peter Clark uses the fight or flight metaphor.
Yes.
And all of a sudden the stakes are higher. And an emotional player like this, who probably doesn't possess that much strategy, is going to make emotional decisions. And shoving on flop 2x pot here is an example of this.
Yeah.
And so my opinion is that, and I'm curious if anybody else disagrees, there's very few situations here where I'm going to fold top head.
I mean, it helps that I'm risking 50 big blinds and not 100.
Yeah, it does.
Now, Arthur, what you said something a moment ago, and I'm not sure that I understood what you were saying. Were you saying that in a 3-bet pot, this bet that we just saw here is overbluffed? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Exactly like Larry says. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not it's really not.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the thing I'm looking for in my head about it is, as you start with the thing that in general, bigger bets correlate to bigger value in population as opposed to correlate to bigger bluffs, just as sort of a general thing. And the exception is the ones that feel desperate. And this feels so desperate. Now, what could he be doing this with desperation? He could be doing this because he hates clubs. He just doesn't. The pot is big enough and I don't want to give a club draw anything to bet. That's possible. But it doesn't feel like this. This feels like that thing of, boy, I hope you miss the flop and I can take it away now with my nothing.
Yeah, this is like a
pocket
very
five.
emotional play, right? This is
Yeah.
nowhere near anybody's strategy.
Yes. I can
And
see the
so-
guy doing this with pocket eights. Absolutely going. I hope.
I mean, I think sometimes you're beat, sure, but I think that you call this off. And if you play,
Yep.
the question always to ask is, okay, this happens 100 times. Do you make a profit over 100 times? And I think the answer clearly is yes.
Yeah. And one of the things I remember about this was the amount of time that I waited thinking about my kicker. It was approximately, this is about how much time it was an actual game. Check, bluff, call. Just like I've already decided. I've decided what I was doing. When I saw that flop and I checked it, I went, I don't care what he does. I'm not
Yeah.
folding there. All right. Let's see. I'm up. And then we'll just go down with ones. Fold around. Here we go. Larry, you're up. That was
Alright.
fun.
It's too early for threes. Hero gets to RFI and I'm not really super good with the polarized range of big blind, but I think that he does get three bets here.
He does. And he has no folds with king seven. None.
Yeah, this is like a mix.
And the ratio of this mix, king seven, is, picture it in my head here. No, king seven here is a pure call. There, in the big blind, the big blind is the two tendrils go up. Again, yeah, two tendrils go up against the button, and the kings. No, hold on, I've got to picture this again. Queen
Just your
seven,
tendrils,
seven, 10,
Scotty.
7. This is a call, pure call, I say. Okay,
I think it mixes.
all right, let's find out.
And also the other thing to think about, which I'm curious if you guys are doing. Let's notice his bigger three bet size here.
Ah, poo. You're right. Oh,
So, notice he went to like 13. Are you guys doing that? Are you guys increasing your three bet size of big blind versus these late position RFIs? Not
Yes.
11. Yeah, okay. I gotta start using this more.
Yeah.
I think it's not yet. It goes down to 12.
I do it when I remember to.
Yeah, me too. I need to do it more.
Okay. There's the raise. He just calls it. That's perfectly fine. That is the majority play with king seven against. Who was I? I am button. Fold, button raise. There it is. There's your king seven majority call. And this king seven, I believe that in my simplified one, that this is 100% call. And I push the king seven here down, and I push these down one to populate that area. All right. Hey, that's nice. He checks range. It's a paired board, and so that's gonna push me to bet small when I bet. The hand is defined by marginally made, but the board is super dynamic. Whatever the bet, if you have the four, it's not likely to be the best hand by the river. And so betting here seems reasonable to me.
I like to play.
That could be a scared way to play a marginally made hand.
Well, if you look at this
Oh,
as a solver, it'd be like betting across
Yeah.
the entire range.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope that the solver bets.
It
So-
does. It would mix there, and it would actually have. I think it's going to have some larger-ish bets as well.
Okay, so let's look this up. I'm gonna guess the opposite. My hypothesis is that we don't have larger bets here. Archer's saying that it's a 40% range checks here. I believe that. I believe that there's a lot of checking on this board. So the fact that it's a lot of checking pushes you to polarize up a little bit, but the fact that it's paired pushes you down, and I think the paired is more important than the.
Yeah, and the smaller paired boards actually start to see larger bets.
Okay. 5 is small enough. I mean, deuces is small, but is
Yeah,
5
and it-
small enough in this configuration against the big blind? But
Yeah,
yeah,
it may not be.
check that
You're
one
not
out.
gonna get over bet, Scotty, but you're
No.
gonna see some half pots here.
Right. I think you're
Do you wanna
gonna see
look at it?
my prediction is you're not gonna see any, that anything bigger than half pot is not gonna be prominent in the strategy.
No,
And the
no.
33 is gonna be more than half pot in the strategy. And for this particular hand, it's gonna be 33s and checks.
That's right. You're not going to see a whole bunch of 75s, but your half pots are going to be more frequent than like you're going to see a lot of 33 and 50.
Right. But which is gonna be more? I say 33 is gonna be more than 50.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think. That's my prediction. All right. You got it, Larry?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Check percent. Oh God, the check percent overall. I'm gonna
40.
go Price is Right and say 41.
Well, I think we know that if we're seeing this much donking, you're not gonna have a lot of big bets.
Right. Yeah,
So if we look, I mean, so this donking is being driven by,
we have no range advantage.
I have no clue. We don't
No,
have
it's
an
because
equity
it-
advantage and big blind does not have an equity advantage, nor does it have a nut advantage.
Right. But it doesn't have an equity disadvantage and it usually does.
That's valid. Good point.
So that's why it can mix.
Does it have a trips advantage? Must not, 'cause it doesn't have a. It's not- not advantage. There's more trips. Maybe it's this, I don't know. It's
We
got a
both
little bit
play-
more as a percentage of range.
We both play ace five off at full frequency.
It has these two combos.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatevs. So we check. And everyone's right. Everybody.
30
moves
to
card.
30. Okay, good. Oh, and the check percentage. Because I prices righted you, Artur. You said 40%. And so I went 41. It is 46, but you made the commitment. I wouldn't have had any idea.
Hey, Artur, do
so
they have prices
I'm
right
giving-
in Lithuania? They might have their own version.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna give Archer the point on choosing the 40.
So you're ace four. What is your ace four
So-
doing?
Does my 50 get disqualified because I went over?
No, I get it because I said it's gonna be small with some 50, no 70, very.
No, my check frequency, I said 50, so I went over.
Oh, yeah, you went over for the check frequency?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 41, 46, you and I tie. You're oh, right, it's Price is Right is closest without going over, I think.
So, yeah, so we're betting quite a bit. Just
Yeah.
combo.
Right. My
very
ace four
kicker
was
driven.
offsuit. I have spade heart. It shouldn't make a difference.
I wonder if this is protection driven.
That's why I did it. Oh, I
Spade
love it.
heart.
Oh, yay. I'm so happy.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Spade heart.
So I think it was Phil Galfond who said that a lot of people, when they study the way we're studying, they do a play, they look in the solver, and if the solver approves it, they feel good about themselves and they move on. And he says, that's not a good way to play because the solver is not how your opponents play and like this. But it is the one tool we have since we don't have a coach here. So I feel good about my play.
So
feel
I
good by
was,
its logic
I was
and I feel good.
distracted, but I'm curious what Phil says.
That in your study, if the way you do it is you make your play for whatever reason, you're not sure about it, you look in the solver, and if the solver approves of it, you go, I did good, and you move on. And you
Yeah.
feel good about it, that is not the most helpful thing to do. Because
Yeah, I
one,
mean, I try to get us looking at ranges a little bit and
Yeah.
or at least looking at hand classes.
yeah,
I mean, I think generally coaches' point is that line checking is not ideal.
Yeah.
So I hope when we study, we go a little bit beyond just line checking.
but I still feel good about the line check right there.
Yeah, I think you should take it where you can get it, right?
Because
Sure.
given how many of my lines are wrong. Okay. There we go. All right, who's up?
Oh, you gotta share, sir.
Right, I gotta share. Okay. Share. I believe that, I think I did that one. Yeah, so Larry, you're up.
All right. So this is, we have a poster, right?
Yes. Poster.
So.
Broken stack poster.
So. Our hero's having a good night. Maybe he continues with a attempt to steal this. It's very wide.
Yeah, I think it's too
super
wide.
wide. Right, so let's just look at this. So you're in hijack, right?
Yeah,
This is like 5 pips wide.
yeah,
So more than that. So yes, you gotta fold.
yeah. I think you can squeeze with just your regular hijack range here.
Yeah, I'm a little aggressive
Yeah.
with trying to steal the dead money. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just an excuse to play more hands. I'd go like, it's like supposed to be jack nine here, which makes sense, it's straight.
Mhm.
But I might go to jack seven suited here. I'm like,
might
I'd
go to
expand a
jack
little
eight.
bit.
But Larry, there's also when in the stealing the dead money, there's a huge difference whether this guy, whether you're in position or out of position against him, not because of how the hand plays later, but when you're in position against him and he checks this, he's really saying, I have shit.
That's a very good point.
Posted and I'm not going to defend my post. So
That's a
he's
very good
lost
point.
whole top of his range, so you can get more aggressive. Here, he's just a big blind who has position on you.
Yeah, okay.
So he
He's
can
got 100%
call,
of hands.
he can call with a big blind's range, you know, just for his pot odds. Granted, he has people behind him he has to play, but he can call with a big blind range and play against you with position. So you really need to have a hijack range here.
Okay. I think
Plus, you're
that's a
putting
good
more
point.
money in.
He,
Please. With all
he-
that, I hope I go 4.5 after that whole speech. No.
he is not filtered to the bottom half. I
No.
see your point.
So there's his filter. And now the ace seven can attack.
CJ seven takes its opportunity here, which would be
Yeah.
punished. He does.
Good job, but way too small.
Yeah, I would go bigger. I'd go like 4.5.
5.5.
So
When he
ace
got
10 off is in a very interesting position. I think with ace 10 off, I think I call because I'm playing in position.
Mhm.
This is obviously off the charts. What do you guys think?
You can play ace 10 just versus straight up versus a small blind range.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
could just simplify it to that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he has a fewer bluffs, but you're still at it. You're an ace 10 land.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
An ace 10
And
against a small blind is a almost pure call against a regular small blind range. Plus, the size of his raise isn't even that big. You can't fold here.
Well, I think the most important thing is that you're playing in position.
Yeah, so there's your 100% call with your ace 10.
Yeah.
Against the small blind. He's only made it to 3.5. There's more money in the pot. Just never fold this here. And the reason I said that this should be 5 and 5.5 is it should be 4.5-ish if you're on the button, just just because of the dead money. And now you're out of position. You got to add another one to it. So 5,
So are you-
5.5, 6.
Are you gonna ISO all your offsuit aces in the small blind here?
I'm going to ISO everything down. I maybe not ace deuce. I'd have to think for a second on ace deuce, and then I would do it because of this, just because of the tasty dead money. Certainly ace 5 and ace 6, absolutely.
Cause I feel borderline on even doing it with ace 7.
Well, my regular range in the small blind is ace 3 and not ace deuce. It's this, just regular small blind range here for me is this. Ace 3 and not ace deuce. So with that in mind, I have to go a little bit bigger, but I've got a guy but this is ace 3 against an unknown big blind, right? An uncapped big blind. Now, one of the people who's put money in is highly capped by his play. So I think that might push me down to ace deuce. But this is a no-brainer for me there, the ace 7. And the ace 10, I think misplayed it.
Yeah.
I don't think he has to worry about the theory of he's not closing the action, so he has to be tighter. I don't think he has to.
No,
worry.
that doesn't play here. I think, I mean, he's playing in position. It's important in the situation to be aware of your positional advantage.
And he is when he calls, he does put himself in the sandwich, but this
It's
guy's
weird though. This guy
this
doesn't,
guy's announced
yeah.
his range is dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was Arturo, you're up, I believe.
Ace queen raise and win.
What about this king
Okay.
deuce on the button? That's a pure open.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, king deuce raise.
King deuce raise, ace queen, 3-bet him.
Yeah.
And the 3-3 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 3-3 is a fold. It's not even a sliver. No, don't do it. Don't raise. Thank you. I got scared because it paused on that. All right. King deuce raises. There's the 3-bet
Mhm.
and the size against late position
Too
is
small.
a
Close
Yeah.
little
enough.
small. Yeah, I think,
It's fine. It's just under.
yeah,
It's,
what is it?
should be
Hit
11.
Charts say 11, some charts say 10.
Yep, this one says 12 and 13.
Oh
for
yeah,
the-
that's right. I
That's
forgot GTO does increase it.
Yeah, that's fine though. 10 and a half.
King
I think
deuce, I don't know.
Poker coaching says 10, right?
Yeah, poker coaching says 10. Oh, but poker coaching is up against a 3 and says 12. But it's up against 3.
Mhm.
Okay, here we go. And he folds the king, and the king deuce is a good fold there, and everybody goes to bed.
What's the bottom, king 4 or what?
Oh, to call it?
Yeah.
Oh, I would put it up at king 10. I think even fold king 9 there. Let's see. I don't know I don't know the chart. I'm just,
You're gonna have a very robust 4-betting.
Yeah, King 10 is gonna 4-bet a lot.
You're gonna have,
Oh, not in the button.
yep. There
you're
we go.
4-betting more than you are calling.
Here's the world. And one of the things about our 4-bets, I think that the GTO 4-bet frequencies are too high for us because our opponent's 3-bet frequencies don't have enough of the bluffs in them.
Yeah, king.
However, do our opponents
Overfold
fold too
to
much to
4-bet.
4-bets? 4-bet.
Maybe that's the counter argument. Don't know. And then this configuration is different because this is small blind, big blind. So there's all kinds of, there are all kinds of bluffs going on there. Okay, but there you go. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Mike,
All right, ace 10's too early. Kings will open and take it.
yep,
No action for hero.
there we go.
All right, here. Oh, that's right. You're doing
Ace
it.
queen is not too early. We're gonna raise it. Ace deuce should fold here. Yes, ace deuce should fold 100% here. And everybody should fold to me and bow to my will. However, looking at his
That ace two.
stats, 24 hands, a call of 8. I think he's gonna fold.
My prediction is ace deuce should have some 3-bets there.
Nope. Ace, you need ace 3 there. Is what I believe. He's in the hijack. Yeah, he's in the hijack. Hijack, low jack. So I'm the pre, and it starts at ace 3, I believe. I just studied this recently, so I hope I'm right. So here I am in my raise. And here he is in the cutoff, right? Was that what it was? Oh, in the hijack. He's in the wait, then I can't be in the load. That's me. There I am. Here's the hijack. There's the ace 3. Is where it starts.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Yep.
I remember seeing this chart and I thought there was a lot of 3-betting across all of those low aces.
Right. So I just recently studied these, and without the simplification, the one thing is they all start at ace 3. There's no ace 2. And this is across the cutoff against everything. So let's do it in this order. There's a real quick way to do this, just to show it to you. Starting at the hijack. So cutoff. Can't do ace 2. Versus the low jack. Cutoff. No ace 2. Against the pre, low jack has no ace 2, hijack has no ace 2, king, it's all
Oh, good.
vibrate, these all vibrate around. And this can, and the main feature that stays the same is the ace 5, king 5, ace 4 looks like this the whole time. And therefore, if you wanted to simplify this against all of the non-button positions, just go ace 4, ace 5, and king 5 100% and lose all this, and you won't be that wrong. I mean, even against, look at this, even against that, if you want these bluffs, shove all this into those 3 Here, same thing. See how that,
Yeah,
that
that's a
configuration
good little
works?
nugget. I like that nugget about no ace deuce, that it's ace three on up.
No ace deuce. And then if you don't want to learn, and the ace three is never prominent, it never goes up above a quarter. So just start with, just start if you want this region, just go 100% ace five, ace four, king five, and you're not going to be very wrong. There's your under the gun version of it. Let's do against UTG1, the tree. See that ace four, ace five? See all those? Just nice and consistent. Same thing here. These move around a little bit. And then I'm going to move on in a second. Yeah. You'll see how these frequencies change, but not that importantly. All right. And it's 12:15, so we've gone 3 hours, which is perfect, and we'll end on my hand. And it's Mike's turn, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
I don't know whose turn it is, but we're gonna end with it.
Okay.
We're gonna raise. And here's a new bad player.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Yep.
And rewarded.
Why do we play this stupid game?
Oh, do I take it post flop too?
Yep.
I would continuation bet this.
I'm gonna
Just,
check.
just
I'm
out of
gonna check call.
curiosity,
This is marginally made. This is marginally made, and I don't mind most cards coming.
Yeah, I just know that this is going to be a heavy continuation bet from us in under the gun and this board. Even
Yep.
though we're out of position, I know there's going to be, it's not going to be 100%, it's not going to be a range bet, but it's going to have a pretty frequent C bet, and I would take it.
All right, we're gonna take a look at this one in the solver.
just one question real quick.
Yeah.
Not to delay us. What's your equity pre-flop after heads up against this guy, this combo? Okay, before flop.
Or before the flops, 55, 45.
I think it's gonna be a 60-40.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Okay, right here.
56, 44. That's my prediction.
So
All right, I'm
I-
going,
I'm just gonna answer your question. Why do we play this game? If you played this hand 100 times, you win a
Yes.
lot of money.
exactly.
We lost your share.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going over to you already.
Oh,
Okay. finish this.
let me just
We'll
get the-
finish one. We'll finish
No,
this
run
one
through the
out.
hand first, because
Yeah, let's run through the hand. All right. So I go check. I'm gonna go check call.
We went check, check, right?
Oh, it did. Now I
Uh,
think this gives me
When
license.
when I checked there, if I had checked, I would check again.
Okay. And now I would bet thinking that he's devoid of kings. So this is gonna go badly. Oh, yay me.
And if he bets, I would call.
Yep.
And I would check.
You might check this back. This is a scary board.
Two
Right.
big blinds. Lost 2 big blinds. All right. Let's see what the solver says, and I don't care what the solver says. I'm happy. Wow, 2 big blinds for my last hand of the night.
What do you
let's
say,
check the solver.
computer? What say you, computer overlord? By the way,
Yes.
DJAF.
Exactly. I do not need approval from the computer overlords for this hand.
You were in what position?
I regret nothing. I was
He was
in
under the gun.
under the gun 2, under the gun, whatever you call it. I was in low jack -1.
Stacks, general, 2.5.
No, I think you
Four.
were.
I was in low
fully
jack
under-
-2. Low jack -2.
What's your RFI size?
2.5. Like a boss.
Cut off, hijack, low jack.
Alright.
Call
While
this
you're getting it
UTG1.
together, we'll just look at this hand. We'll look at the next hand.
I don't think I'll ever get it together. You don't have to worry about
Okay,
that.
that's fine. It should be fold, 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 fold. Ace 4 should raise, queen 10 should fold, and king queen suited should defend. And it should defend here by 3 betting.
Share.
Yeah.
Share.
Okay. Oh, that's a better way to do it. There we go.
I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay, then we won't play this hand, but I'm in this hand, so this one's gonna go too.
Alright.
So this is gonna go fold to the ace four who raises, and king, queen suited should defend mostly by raising, but I think this combo I call. There we go. And then good things happen. Check, check bet, call or raise. I think I just check raise this. I don't know if this is right. I do, and he folds. Okay. I will stop sharing. And now I do want to know that last hand. I want to know if that's a check raise or not. Okay, you're up.
Alright, so we do get lots of bets on this texture. And I think, yeah, I think that's just driven by the king high flops have this texture. Well, real quick, let's just look at this because we have it. Okay, I'll come back later, never mind. So. Yeah, we get lots of bets, but we're betting small all the time
Mm-hmm.
in Solverland.
Yep.
So
and
you
the
can
ace
do
queen
anything.
is-
So we checked, right?
Yep, the ace queen is happy to check. It's happy to bet. So both are correct. No points awarded.
And what is his top pair supposed to do is the question here. Since we'll take Phil's
He's never
advice
supposed to
and
have
go
a king
beyond.
nine of any kind. He doesn't even have a king nine suited here.
Yeah, this is like a proper condensed range.
Yeah.
So he's mostly checking.
Yep.
And if he's betting, his only bet size here is very polarizing.
Yeah,
It's big. I should say it's not really polarizing. Well, I guess it is. It's just the big bet he gets if he's going to bet.
Right.
So we're going to break solver if he bet.
It's a
Right.
fairly common
and he
heuristic
didn't bet.
when
He checked.
yeah, it's a fairly common heuristic that if the out of position player who should have a lot of C bets check,
Mhm.
the in position bet sizing is usually fairly large.
And that makes sense too, because if you, let's turn that around, that heuristic around. If the big blind, if you're an SRP versus big blind, and the texture is good for big blind, the same holds for the in position player. He's gonna do a lot of checking, but when he does bet, it's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Alright, so he checked, right? With his
Yeah.
king nine off. We get the jack of diamonds.
Yep.
So now you are attacking this board across your.
Right, so the ace queen now can say, the ace queen can bet now. Check if I need an ace of diamonds for the bet.
No, we're just like.
No, I can bet.
Well,
and I
he
can-
was, one way to think about this is he's supposed to. Well. He's got this very polarized range. I don't know if that's realistic. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bet, you can do whatever you want here.
Yeah.
You can,
And the way that I would narrate this in my head is that when he doesn't bet on the flop, that cuts down his frequency of kings.
Yeah.
But the jack comes in and completes straights, and it completes the flush. So that makes my queen, which my queen had permission to bet on a blank now because he didn't bet his king, but I don't have to bet it. But that jack of diamonds is the worst card to get permission from.
yeah, this jack of diamonds is a super. Dynamic card, I guess is the way
Yeah.
to put it.
Yeah.
So you, even when you check, you've got this very large equity advantage. Here,
Right, when he chooses to check behind.
and when now he's checked behind and your equity's gone up.
Right.
Because he checked behind.
And
And
now,
also maybe it has to do with this card.
right, and
Um,
now with the jack of diamonds, when it comes in my ace queen, I don't need a diamond to bet. I can bet if I want, and I don't have to, and I didn't.
yeah, it doesn't seem to care.
Okay,
Let's just. What we're gonna call the fill rule. Let's just very quickly, let's filter for. Different hand classes. So you're protecting your checking range significantly here.
yeah,
You're checking your. Nuts essentially, your nuts and second nuts essentially, 30% of the time. Let's look at it this way too. Look at hand classes.
I
Straight
checked
flush is
straight.
like, It's very interesting, right? Mostly
Yeah.
checking. Polarizing, it's one combo, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
10-9. Flushes are mixing.
Mhm.
Straights are mixing. Everything is mixing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you checked in game, right?
Yep, I checked in game.
And what did our villain do?
Maybe that too.
He bet two big blinds with his king nine, which is the equivalent of king 10, I guess.
He's got top pair with a gut shot.
Yeah.
So we don't really have it. Well, I guess king 10 is the equivalent.
Yeah, king 10 is what he's got. And
He gets to do this some, well, but he doesn't get this. He rarely gets this size, but he does
Yep.
get this a little bit. So it's not gonna,
so this is nice. I saved a big blind for his mistake.
yeah, true. So he puts in this, I think we call this imposition probe. Question is,
You-
what is your second pair doing now?
Arter, what is UWP? UWP, I think max frequency line on every street. I don't understand what.
Well
you.
played.
Mistyped, I meant well played.
Oh,
You
thank,
well played.
thank you, thank you.
All right, so
That
you
appro-
are just
That
calling with your
approval is
second
more
pair.
important to me than the computer approval. Thank you. You were saying, Larry.
I wonder, to this small bet, I wonder what your calling threshold is. So it looks like you're calling for, you're mixing with third pair. That's your calling threshold, right? And then once you get that, you have enough equity to call your third pair. With this, because the only third pairs you have.
Yeah.
Have an overcard.
Yeah.
But like your nines are done, your under pairs are done.
Yeah. So this was great.
Okay,
Yeah.
so. You call, you're playing it well, sir. 9 of spades, bring two pair. Well, he's not gonna have two pairs, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's never gonna, yeah, he's gotta be,
Yeah.
he's gotta have king, queen here, which we
Uh,
check because of the one card straight and the flush.
You're never dunking really, except for like this weird, well, whatever, we ignore that. No dunks on this card. Check.
He
Now, the
bets
question for me,
flushes, That's his tens.
yeah, the question for me is where is his value betting threshold?
He doesn't even bet a set.
Yeah, he has a better set. He needs a straight to value bet on this
Yeah.
very wet texture.
Yeah, that's,
He doesn't want to open up the betting again with the set. It's not good enough.
Yep.
Also, he's got a very linear bet size here, kinda.
Mhm.
As linear as you're gonna see in solver.
yeah,
Set is B60. And then we get up to these, and then you need a flush really to go bigger, like a over bet.
Right.
And then with our straight flush. Well, that's our nut flush. What's our straight flush? Straight flush is. It's a B134.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, and, what is it? Okay, what's his sign? His top pair, as we saw, just check back.
just checks.
It's two sets. Yeah.
Yep.
As we mentioned. All right. Anything,
Yeah.
anybody else wants to see in here?
I just wanna look at one thing in the next hand and
Sure.
then be done. Which is, I'll show you the next hand here. And then, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:15. If anybody wants to prep, 100 hands, to review, we can do that.
Okay,
And-
we can see your messages. Please mark this moment.
Yes, it's okay. None of them matter. This is one where it's perfectly fine.
Okay,
There. You get to see this nonsense. More spearfish, more, catfishing or whatever fishing.
all right.
Mm.
You wanted to look at our.
I want to look at this one right here. This will be the last one. So the first mistake of this is, that I called, this is a pure 3-bet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at pre-flop.
It's a mistake. And right when I did it, I knew it, that I just pictured wrong. It's king jack that has a lot of calls in it, and I just pictured it wrong. But this is the range, and so the mistake, while 100% wrong, you know,
What about in cutoff? What about versus cutoff? Do you need to have checks with, flats with king, queen?
yeah, that's where it goes. It's just, it was that I had in mind. I just pictured the wrong range quickly in my head.
I think you lost 0.0001.
Yeah,
EV.
I'm fine with the mistake. It's a fine mistake. I did lose money on it though, because his ace four suited, if I three bet him and he plays, if he plays GTO and even if he doesn't, we expect to be called. So we three bet and we expect he is going to call us with the ace four. But we do this. And then my question is this check raise. Is that,
Is this a thing?
yeah, is that it? Am I,
Do you want me to put him in cutoff so you have flats?
uh, sure. Yeah, we can do it with the exact, yeah, let's do that with a king, queen. Let's do it that way. Okay, I will stop sharing.
King of diamonds, 10 of clubs.
And I was completely happy going with this hand. If I get,
Jack of
after my
diamonds.
check raise, if he re-raises me or jams, I was gonna go, okay, I'll call you.
Yeah, I love that it's also a backdoor flush. I'm wondering if we don't see it without you having a backdoor.
Yeah,
Alright, always checking.
yes,
Chrissy,
always checking. We see it.
what size did the villain choose?
Villain did, in reality, he did this. Okay, hold on, wrong button. He did he did a half pot.
Survey says, your hand's
Nice.
just too good, man.
Just too good.
Let's see what your equity is here. I'm surprised you don't get check raises here.
Yeah,
Let's see where your check raises are coming from. Maybe this, you know what's going on? Well, this is a smallish check raise frequency.
mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wonder if this is driven by. That's what I want. I wonder if it's driven by this. So you're check raising on a board where imposition has a massive equity advantage and a massive
Yeah.
nut advantage.
Yeah,
So. I mean, clearly it's still gonna have check raises, but maybe this is part of it. Let's just look at where our. Well, first thing is, let's back to you. Does this? No. Okay, let's see, takes this. Where is your check raise coming from? So if we look at filter for check raise. And these are mostly gonna be.
nuts, vulnerable two pairs.
Combo
Queen
are your,
calls,
Yeah,
and the queen does not need the backdoor flush to do it.
so king jack, it likes to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it's two pair.
Yeah.
Let's go breakdown. So it's cross your entire range. Like, the best you're doing it this with is, I mean, you're doing this a lot with the straight,
Mm-hmm.
the other straight. And then very little with the set,
A bunch
but
of two
then
pair.
two pair. And then we get into weird pair plus draw, right?
Yeah.
Open ender.
The two pairs are vulnerable.
And then we get into stuff like really low equity stuff.
Right. With an ace of diamonds.
With some gutter and backdoor and overcard.
Yeah.
We really like the ace of diamonds.
Yeah.
Blocking
with
his continue.
diamonds.
Blocking this continues and, well, both sides. Blocking this continues and we're back to the draws.
Right.
Yeah, I think your hand is maybe just too good.
Yep.
That was a really, I think that was a very productive session.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that session.
See you guys tomorrow at 9:15.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you, Scotty.
All right.
There-